Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Spawncast episode 289. We're missing MVG Max and Click. Click is still fighting through the Death Stranding moving situation, so I'm hoping she's back next week. She's been going through it, so make sure you stop by and send some well wishes on Twitter. But Max had a few things to do, and then MVG as well. But I believe MVG will be back next week to account for the Silent Hill stuff. Yeah, actually, that might be why he's not here. Never mind.
I wouldn't show up. That's what I was saying.
He said he didn't feel good.
Yeah,
I'm gonna rest. I don't feel good.
Hell.
You resting at fucking 6 p.m.? Is that what's going on, buddy?
He's a bit older, yeah.
That's true.
Well,
had his dinner at 4.
We still have a bunch of people here to talk about a ton of it. A lot of stuff happened this week in terms of game releases. And there's a lot of news, and we're not even able to get to all of it. I didn't even add any of the CMA stuff, and I know you guys are all about that.
Oh yeah, Country Music Awards. I love the Country Music Awards.
I think Reba McEntire won again.
Jolie.
Oh, I guess they're not. I guess they. You said they won again. They're definitely not on the Yankees then. Let's.
Not on the Sixers either, my boy.
Oh man, that's true. That's true.
You just say
hopefully the Phillies can close it out here in a couple of days.
Sixers are trash. Nobody cares about the damn Sixers.
They are trash.
You're talking about the Sixers after the 49ers got Christian McCaffrey and the Phillies are fighting to try to go up 3-1.
Tell me about Christian McCaffrey.
You think the Sixers can hurt me right now, Sean?
Tell me about Christian McCaffrey. That's California right there. That's right. Stanford.
Let me tell you something.
Also,
Sean, all of a sudden, it was the Homer meme where he just creeps back into the bushes after the Mets lose and then comes back out as a Knicks fan.
Okay, I've always been a Knicks fan. I said during the year I was watching some Mets games. I was like, who do I root for, the Mets or the Yankees? I was like, well, if the Mets win this game, I will root for them. I don't care. I don't care about baseball like that.
Nate's I don't know. And Nate, you heard he was talking that trash with the Subway Series when the Mets swept them. Remember that?
Yeah, he talked trash.
Because there was no football or basketball, real sports. There was no fucking real sports on.
You're really being loud about the Giants this year, man. You were kind of quiet about the Giants the past couple of years. You've been a bit quiet. Now don't say you're talking a lot now.
There ain't been shit to talk about with the
let's
Giants.
go around here. We have Jordan Fringe with us tonight.
Yeah.
Good to have Jordan here.
Glad to be here. I feel like of all the games we have to talk about today, I am the only one who remembered this game was coming out because no one's talking about New Tales from the Borderlands, the sequel to the Telltale game, Tales from the Borderlands, and just because I'm pretty sure I'm the only one who played it here on the cast. It visually is a lot better than Tales from the Borderlands, but it suffers from the problems of Borderlands 3 with the really bad writing so far. The characters are a lot less memorable than the original game's characters, and I haven't beat it yet, obviously, but so far, not really digging the main characters and how their dialogue options are.
Feels
so
like
far.
that would really hurt the solely narrative-driven experience.
It's definitely been like, okay, that's a way to say things. I don't know. It's I haven't beaten it yet, but yeah, in case you forgot, hey, it's out. Because there was no promotion for it. It just showed up at my door and I was like, oh yeah, that's out. Cool.
I had no idea it was coming out. Thank you, Jordan. I appreciate it. Thank
Glad to be.
Thank you. Let me go over to Sean, RGT85. I will reveal that Sean does indeed have a Knicks room for people asking in the chat. He does. He doesn't watch any Knicks games in the Knicks room though. There's a TV in there. He just
it's
doesn't
not
watch
as nice of a TV. It's not as nice. But you know what? That TV probably has an app for NBA League Pass. So I got League Pass today, and I was like, okay, I'll download the app on this $2,000+ LG television I have. No, LG doesn't have the NBA TV app, so I'm having to go through my Xbox Series X to play it. But it probably has an app, so maybe I'll watch some games on there.
How much was the League Pass?
$100.
Oh, wow,
That's
really?
not bad, yeah. Because I was looking it up. I was like, man, there's all these games on tonight. Knicks don't play till Monday. I want to watch something. And it was like $100 for the whole season. I was like, God damn, sign me up.
Do you buy it online? Do you just like...
Yeah, you just go on NBALeaguePass.com or whatever the website is, and then you can put it on like any device, like your fucking phone, tablet, computer,
I have to
Xbox.
pick that up.
Yeah, dude, it's legit. No, it's been a good week, you know. Some receipts were handed out. The Knicks won their home opener, and my car maintenance bill was less than I thought it was going to be. So I'm a happy boy.
Okay.
Good week.
Good. We have OJ Player Essence holding up of course, the pre-show.
Pre-show was great. Broke a record, most viewers, so that was fun. Shout outs to everybody that came through for that. And yeah, it's been a very interesting week, and I'm excited to talk some games. A lot of cool releases that came out, and because maybe I won't talk about it later. I don't know how much we're talking about Persona 5, but they are giving out records for it. Look at that.
The vinyl
for it.
Wow.
Freaking whole record. The music in Persona 5 is awesome. So everybody go play Persona 5. It doesn't matter what system you're playing it on. Go pick it up. It's on Xbox Game Pass. It is PS5. You don't get a free upgrade, but PS5. But yes, I just want to shill Persona 5 real quick because it's fantastic on any system. It's great on Switch too. So yeah, some stuff. Hashtag the game.
Good stuff. We have Nate the Hate's here, walking in like Vince McMahon. Actually, 2 reasons. Well, I guess we can talk about them. But yeah, a lot of stuff happened this week that kind of lined up with a lot of stuff Nate's been saying. So shout out to Nate. Good to have him here.
Yes, it's a good week. Silent Hill finally happened. Unfortunately, the Yankees continue to lose, so that kind of dampers the moment a bit because Aaron Boone is a terrible manager and he deserves to be fired at the conclusion of the ALCS, as well as Brian Cashman.
Okay. Good stuff. And then we have Evan, and Evan will be able to have some say with the game release because I think he may have almost marathon that game. So
did finish it at 4 a.m. Yes.
That's how you know it's good. You finish it at 4 a.m. All right, very cool, very cool. So like I said, a bunch of games to go over. Game releases happened. We also had the Silent Hill reveal along with the showcase there that happened, and we had another look at Resident Evil 4 Remake, which looks awesome. We go over that, and we had the Bayonetta 3 controversy. I feel like it's wrapped up. So since we covered it when it was still kind of early on with bits of information here and there, I thought we'd wrap it up with all the info that's out there currently. Evan, do we want to start with a Discord question?
With Nintendo still showing interest in Bomberman, think we'll get Bomberman 64 with online?
Oh,
wouldn't that be Konami, right?
Yeah, that would be Konami. I mean, Nintendo and Konami obviously would collaborate for that to bring it to the online. I mean, why not? I think that'd be cool. Online support, sure. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, we kind of know what we're getting until E3 next year, basically, right? Like that's the schedule's kind of in place, so we wouldn't find out until halfway through next year.
Bomberman 64?
Yeah, like on the I guess the online, the expansion pass.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that'd be dope.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out if they're just going to announce another batch of games at E3 basically next year, which would kind of line up with where their schedule is currently, because everyone basically assumes GoldenEye's happening next month at this point. So, you have another one for us, Evan?
This one's a little specific. What do you guys do, not RGT, when you get stuck on an enemy in an RPG without clear indication of what to do to beat them?
What do I do if it's open enough and it's an RPG? I just go and grind until I can overpower it.
Yeah, you just grind until you overpower it. That's almost always the answer is just level up.
Yeah, I'll put on a podcast or something, or watch a show and just grind away until you're strong enough to destroy it by brute force. Even if there's some logical way of doing it, you just brute force the thing. Yeah. That's me though. That's what I'll do.
I don't mind grinding in RPGs. I don't think it's bad.
I like how they just left you out of that completely.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, I don't know what that was. I guess you said something.
All right, that's fine. Let's see. What game do we want to start with? We'll start with Gotham Knights just to get that out of the way, because it's the one I've played the least, even though I'm like 3.5 hours into it. It's also the one I've enjoyed well, no, I can't say that because their Alan Wake came out as well. But Gotham Knights started it up.
Alan Wake kind of saved that launch then a little bit, just a little bit. I like I said, about 3.5 hours of Gotham Knights. It is horrendously average, unfortunately, but I will say something good about it. The opening cutscene was awesome, and it set up the story with Batman getting killed and all of this. That was actually pretty cool opening. I picked Red Hood to start. He is definitely like the heavy of the group. He's not as agile, I assume, as like Nightwing and Robin and Batgirl, but he lands, it has a big crashing noise, and he's this big guy that walks around, Jason Todd. And the problem I have mostly with the game is the combat does not click at all. And maybe it's because I'm thinking of the old Batman games, like the Arkham style. It's just nothing flows together very well, and it's just slow. It's very slow. So when you do your chain attacks and you're trying to work stuff together, everything just feels like it's underwater, unfortunately. And part of that is probably the 30 frames, but I just think the combos don't like run together very well. Like with Red Hood, you have ranged attack into melee. So instead of always shooting them with a gun, he will take the gun and punch you in the face with his gun. And it hasn't felt like it combos together well, unfortunately. The animations are cool. Like if you counter one, he'll grab them and basically power bomb them out of the air. So like something like that looks cool. And then traversal around the town so far around Gotham has been, you basically can just shoot to any point you want with a grappling hook, and it's pretty forgiving, but I'd rather just be gliding everywhere if I could. It's unfortunate because then you get to the customization, and that's confusing with the menus where you're trying to build out your weapons and armor, and I haven't even been able to grasp exactly what I'm doing half the time. So the main loop that I'm in right now is go out, find bad guys, beat them up, collect magnifying glass symbols. It fills up a meter, and then you get a clue for your next part of the main story. And I think it's like rinse and repeat. That's 3.5 hours of my impressions on Gotham Knights. It has not.
You haven't used anybody else?
No, I just been using Red Hood. I'm like, I'll stick with one for now, and then I'll move to someone else in another play, I guess. You're
gonna play through it again?
I'm not. I haven't even tried to change. I'm like, I'll just roll Red Hood for a bit. See, to me, out of the four of them, I think he's the most interesting. His story and all this, because they even bring up
it's
that
guns
Joker
in a
killed
Batman
him at one
game.
point and all this.
But it's guns in a Batman game, so that's gotta be.
It's funny. They try to explain it in his biography. He's like, he uses non-lethal bullets.
Yeah.
I'm like,
not in the comics.
Non-lethal bullets, great.
I didn't understand. I didn't understand why they put him in there. It should have maybe been just maybe the three characters, just and then just focus on the gameplay a bit more or whatever. You know, because like 30, I don't think 30 frames ruins it, because Arkham Knight is 30 frames. Batman Arkham City, those are all 30 frames, and you can go play those right now, and it's still even on the Xbox 360, and it'll probably flow and be better than the rest of them. So
the thing with this though that bothers me is the game. It looks good. It doesn't look like, wow, that this is crushing these systems. It has to be 30. It's like I don't feel like it looks that amazing to where it's like the systems are struggling to even do what it like. It sometimes it falls below 30. It's like 20, 25 at times. And it's
Did you see the Digital Foundry on it?
Yeah, the Series S apparently runs the best with it, which is strange. I haven't played any multiplayer co-op, mostly because I don't know anyone else who's playing the game. So, yeah.
You might get a review copy.
You got a review copy? Oh,
No,
no,
he's
I
wondering
bought it. Yep, $70 by the way for this.
That is kind of one of the Discord questions, seeing why something like Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Valhalla run at 60, but this can't achieve 60. Like that kind of stuff.
The tethered co-op gameplay.
But Odyssey is, I think, much more impressive with its world, and that's years old at this point.
I think Super Mario Odyssey is probably more impressive with its world. I mean, that game just looks boring to me. Like, I don't know.
It kind of is.
Nice.
Kind of is.
Yeah, Gotham Knights.
I mean, let's be real. You see a Batman game, you kind of just want to play as Batman.
Yeah,
I mean, I like Nightwing and I like Robin.
Yeah.
I loved using Nightwing and Robin in the previous games. Like I do like for like the challenge missions and like the online leaderboards. I loved using them. Robin with like the staff is dope, but like as like the main, like you want to have all the cool gadgets, you want to have like all the Batman stuff, you know?
I think whenever it goes down to the $20 price, like
I'm all over it.
I think then it's worth picking up. Man, it's tough at 70, and like it feels like a game that went into development 10 years ago. That's what it feels like.
Well, it's been in development for quite a while.
I mean, like I'm thinking like beginning of Xbox One, PS4 days almost.
Because I remember cool when they first showed it. Remember when they first showed it?
It looked better.
It looked so cool.
I remember like 2 or 3 years ago, they were doing play testing on it. And someone that watches my channel DM'd me on Twitter and pretty much like told me everything about it. It didn't even have a name at that time, but it was the exact concept that the game ended up being. And it was like, it's rough around the edges, but they might make it a pretty fun game. Just thought I'd pass that along to you. I was like, oh, okay, thanks, appreciate it. And then that game just took forever to come out.
It's tough because there are a lot of other games that came out or coming out soon, and it's like you gotta start picking and choosing, and unfortunately this is not one to pick necessarily. So I mean, I'll keep playing it. My problem is I hate beat Saints Row basically, and mostly because it was funny and ridiculous at times with how bad the game was. This game's kind of like I'm kind of sad playing it almost. Like I'm not crying playing it, but man, it's close sometimes where I'm like, this could have been amazing. This could have been Batman Arkham World or something. I don't know, just the next one, and it's like this is unfortunate. It's unfortunate.
I can make a good video though. This game made me cry, and then everyone thinks you're going to be emotional in the video. It's like, no, I cried because it pissed me off.
It's sad. And mostly because the next Batman game, I guess, in the universe from Rocksteady is gonna be Suicide Squad, and I'm just not interested in a Suicide Squad game. As much as they're trying hard to sell it with you hunting down the Justice League, and that might be the only way to make it interesting.
It'll probably be better though, because it's Rocksteady.
I think it will be better. Yes, I do. But I kind of just want another Batman game. Just let's just do Batman. That's fine. So yeah, it's Gotham Knights. I'll keep plugging through it, but I kind of want to play other stuff.
Next Rocksteady game, Batman Beyond. Let's go.
Hey, Batman Beyond. I'm there for that.
Like, has Batman like secretly been canceled or something? Like, is there a reason why we're not getting Batman games? Like, I don't understand.
He asked for too much money, bro. They said, hell no. We canceled him out.
Right, that's crazy.
An offer of $4,000 a game.
I'm a little confused though, Sean. You're right, because it seems like you just keep plugging away until it stops working, and it's worked. Yeah. Even through Arkham Knight was kind of like controversial anyway, and that was fine.
Well, when
it sold a grip though.
Well, when DC rebooted their storylines for the comics, this was a storyline, and it was one of the better selling Batman storylines. So I'm guessing back when that took off was when they decided to make it a game, and this was the only way they could do it.
Okay. Well, there you go. Let's go over to. You want to talk about Plague Tale, Evan, Nate?
I mean, sure. I'll try.
You guys have next 5 to 10 minutes. Let's hear it.
You just had like 15 minutes on Gotham Knight. You're the only one who played it.
I did 10 minutes on that because you guys spent an intro for like 10 minutes arguing about sports stuff.
Don't be mad. 7 minutes. 6 are puns.
Okay. We'll cut it in the middle. So you got 7 minutes to talk about Plague Tale. I played it up till chapter 4 or 5 or something.
None of you played the first one?
Mario Rabbids came out.
I played a couple hours of the first one. I didn't finish it though.
How this is the problem. Okay, so it's kind of spoiler territory, but like the Plague Tale story is really awesome to me just because of the way the first one got approached, where it feels like a normal world thing, like just medieval world, and then all of a sudden there's magic and you have no idea why it's there. Right. And that was really cool. But this game is like the ending. Like it's the sequel. It goes through everything, ties up all loose ends, brings everything together. It technologically speaking, it's beautiful. It runs really well. And I know we just talked about Gotham Knights and the whole 30 frames per second nonsense, but this game tops out at 40 when you have a 120.
120 hertz. Yep.
Yeah, but apparently in the comparison video that we used, there was on a 4090 it can reach 120 frames is apparently the way it works. I don't know why.
Okay.
But it's also a slower game too, so I feel like
it is slower. Yeah. The stealth,
it doesn't matter.
The stealth in it feels really refined, especially in this one. It's an amazing game, and if you haven't played the series, I highly suggest it, especially if you can start at the first, because the Rat Pope fight is so good. And it's hard to describe it without being hyper spoilery.
The problem is this one's on Game Pass, the other one isn't, so people may just download this on a whim to just see. So a lot of people are probably gonna end up on Requiem.
You don't necessarily need to play the first one, but they will reference a lot of stuff that happens in it without showing you like flashbacks at all. So like you kind of have to take it as you go when they start talking about her parents and stuff. Like it's just out there, man. The story's great. The world building was amazing in this. I
like the rats. The rats are ridiculous. Just sometimes they'll get caught between two different sources of light, and they just kind of huddle up in one big tower, and then they disintegrate. It's kind of funny.
You can usually catch them on the edge of rooms, and they'll start tornadoing because they just get stuck on the walls. It's great.
Visually speaking, Nate, how you feeling over there with the Xbox version? Because Evan, you're on PC.
Yeah,
you got that 3080. I know you're.
I took a ton of screenshots and I posted them on my Twitter.
You post them on Twitter?
I have a whole thing on Twitter of like all the best scenes.
Okay. So people curious, they need to go to your Twitter and check it out with the 3080 in full swing over there. But Nate and I, we were checking out on the Xbox. Nate, I will say, looks a bit soft on the Xbox. I know the resolution is lower than 4K, obviously.
I mean, it's a little soft, but when you look at the environments, it's still a remarkably. It looks amazing. the characters at first looked almost a little out of place when you're looking at the environments, but that kind of fades once you get more into the game. But I mean, overall, from what I've played, I'm about halfway through the game, and I mean, it's a gem. The way they use the music is so foreboding. It just starts building up, and then the scene unleashes, and the music is paired well, and the rumble and the controller goes with it perfectly as well. Every facet of the game just seems though it was well designed to complement all these factors. And this is still a relatively small development team. And there's definitely compromises when you look at some of the visuals. So you can watch like an individual washing clothes, and there's no ripples in the water in their little barrel. If you can't walk through all of the rocks and trees and debris around you, it's still a very linear path. So in terms of interaction with the environment, it's very strict.
Okay.
But I mean, the story, as Evan was saying, the story is really engrossing. The stealth gameplay is expertly crafted. You approach all of these areas, and there's definitely one direction the game wants you to go in, but you still have options as how you're going to approach it. And the guards have good AI. And if you put it on hard, it's almost unfair because the guards will detect you almost immediately, almost like they have a magic eye. But you can easily play it on easy or normal and still get a quality experience. Yeah. So anyone with Game Pass, give the game a look. Even if it's not your style of game, try it out for a few chapters and see if it clicks. I never played the first one. I played this one, and I can't wait to finish it.
For a lot of people who talk about like ease of access and trying to just get through the story, even in the settings, there's something called I think invincibility, where there's never a situation where when you're caught you'll die. It's usually just a quick animation of just like, I found you, and then you can try to run away again. So you can even set it so that you never have to worry about their sequence, because the health bar in this game is basically if you get spotted once, that's a warning. If you get spotted twice, you're dead, and then you have to start the section over.
Yeah, she'll always counter that first catch, where she'll either beat them with the slingshot, or if you have a knife, she'll stab them. And some of the accessibility options are you don't have to do any of the QTE events. You can choose just to hold down the button instead of mashing. So they definitely allow lots of options as how you want to approach the game and experience it.
Okay, so you recommend it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. You're saying Game Pass, Evan? Did you bought it?
I bought it day one.
Steam or wherever it's on Steam.
Yeah, on Steam. Moment I saw it, I was like, "Yep, I'm getting it."
You recommend the purchase as well? Okay.
It's like what? It's like $40 or something new.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah,
great. Check that.
Like the only thing I find a little odd in game design is some of the partner AI where you have to tell them to do something, where it seems as though that could very easily just be scripted. I don't really see the need to hold down the LB button and Y to have the character say, "Let me turn the crank for you." Why do I have to it's kind of important in later puzzles. It's also important in context, because depending on which partner you have, you're gonna have a ton of different abilities to use, like involving light Lucas
refractor.
Likes to do a lot of the fire and stuff.
Lucas is the one that creates basically the AoE flashbang. He's the only one that can do it. The soldier kills people. Like, he just kills people. You tell him to go and he'll go do it. And then the girl you meet, the pirate, has the light refractor, which turns into something different later on.
Okay.
Yeah, because some of the stuff with Lucas, I'm kind of saying like, let me hold this for you while you go move the platform. You're telling me you're going to do it, so why do I have to hit these two buttons to prompt you to do it? You should just kind of take over instead of. But it's a 5-second nitpick in reality.
Okay, so big recommend, and definitely on Game Pass, and even at the $50.
50, yeah, it's 50.
Okay,
double checked.
Okay, very good.
They went 9 minutes, by the way. You only gave them 7.
That's because John was talking. We don't count him.
Let's all right, Sean, let's go to your big release of the week. Alan Wake came out on the Switch.
Jesus Christ.
That was a big game for you, wasn't it?
Big game. Okay.
Christ.
Alan Wake is now out on the Switch. Alan Wake Remastered. Alan Wake Demastered.
wait, no.
It's got to be a demaster.
This was an interesting one because it came out of nowhere.
Which should have been that was the big red flag. That's what we were saying. Like, that game stealth drops. There's something wrong with it.
There should have been some marketing if they were confident in it. There wasn't, and it showed up. It showed up for $23, but in Mexico, apparently in the eShop, they didn't alter the pricing to line up with the currency exchange, so it was actually $1.20
Well, it's 20. I think it's $23.99 on sale because it's a early release sale for like the first week, and then it goes up to 30.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't buy. I wouldn't buy it for
$30 for that.
Bro, it's. I mean, I don't necessarily think it's a hardware thing. I think it's just a shitty ass port, and they didn't know what the fuck. At that point, you should have just been like, you know what? Let's just try to bring the 360 version over and just try to do a one. I think because there's no signs of a remaster. It runs and looks worse than the 360 version, and there's no excuse for that. It's just, and Alan Wake is, it's a game that I never played it during its heyday. I played it like a year or two ago because I remember you guys kept telling me to play it, so it's still very fresh in my mind. Like I remember everything I liked and didn't like about the game. I wanted to get to that scene where like the little concert happens or whatever, just to see how bad it would be on the Switch, but I was not subjecting myself to that because I was just like, no, bro, I'll fucking play it on my Xbox. Like I own the physical edition of it, so yeah, just. Utter disappointment because it's a game that a lot of people should play. Like it's actually a really interesting sort of take on the horror genre, and but that's not the version to play.
The resolution is incredibly low. I'm shocked at times. For some reason, there's like weird polygonal errors that are going on the mountains on the side when you're coming in on the boat, and it's a very strange situation with this. I mean, I took screenshots. I know.
I saw your screenshots, and when I was playing it, I was looking for it, and I was like, "Oh, it didn't happen for me." But I just, I mean, anytime any sort of combat happens, which, I mean, in the combat in the game, you kind of have to rely on the dodge and positioning yourself well and shining your light. The frame rate it feels like it goes to like half of what it's trying to run at. It's just so damn choppy. It makes simple things that are simple in the original version of the game damn near impossible. And I think the most jarring thing has to be the transition from the cutscenes to the game, because it's literally like PS2 era shit where like PS2 would have like actual video and then you get a game and like, oh, okay, it doesn't really match it. This is that same feeling. Like it looks like a completely different thing because they use the I'm guessing that's the remastered part are the cutscenes. They took those from the.
They did, yeah. They must have pulled them. That's probably where most of the file size comes from. Are those cutscenes?
Yeah, and 64 trees and shit, man. Like all the cliche check marks for like a bad Switch game that like that people overgeneralize. Like this has them all. This it's horrible.
This is by the way, this port was done by D3T.
Why do they sound familiar?
They did Shenmue.
They did Shenmue 1 and 2. Apparently they did something with Guardians of the Galaxy. They did something with Alan Wake Remaster on the other platforms. They did Assetto Corsa. They did Mafia 2 Definitive Edition.
Of course.
And this will be interesting, something to keep an eye on because of what just happened with Remastered. They're doing Hogwarts Legacy.
Oh,
Switch?
I don't know. It's right next to the Alan Wake Remastered Switch press release. I'm not sure because we didn't know they were doing the Alan Wake Remastered port, obviously, until it came out. And then they put a Switch logo on their website with Alan Wake Remaster. So I'm just saying, keep an eye on that.
But they also did
know much about Hogwarts Legacy on the Switch. So
they did Sega Genesis Classics. Like that was pretty solid.
It's just Sega Genesis games.
But they collaborated on Burnout Paradise Remastered, Mafia, the original Mafia Definitive Edition. I guess they did the PC version of Guardians of the Galaxy, it looks like. I mean, honestly, Shenmue 1 and 2, I thoroughly enjoy those things. So
there's a chance they just showed up and were like, look, we're trying. This is what we have. What do you want to do? And they were like, drop it. And that was it. I don't know. It's
the problem is we could say this is an optimization issue. Then Epic should have put some time and care into this project. They should have given it some resources to make the port quality. This was already a late port as it is, and now you're going to shadow drop it, where we never actually had a formal trailer outside of when it was announced with like an Alan Wake 2 update, and they just showed an individual playing Alan Wake on a Switch. That was all the footage we had up to this point, and you shadow drop it, basically a lure to get impulse buys by offering a sale and people saying, ooh, Alan Wake is on the Switch. I'm going to buy this because I've heard it's a good game, only for the port to be sub-quality. And when you have a release like this, if the publisher doesn't care about the release, the consumer shouldn't care about the release, and this release should ultimately be ignored.
Well, let's be real. What did the screenshots on the eShop look like?
That's a good question.
I have a strong feeling they are not representative of that game. And in this case, Nate, someone would have to buy it to figure out how bad it is, right?
Or they could watch my video.
Well, but you bought it in order to figure out how bad it is what I'm saying.
Well, yeah.
And if you're not
I
plugged
started
in,
thinking that it was bad, I was like, oh yeah, this is.
and if you're not
video.
plugged into the internet, like, following all this stuff,
Or if you see it initially and you see it's on sale and you're like, well, the sale could end before I see anything on it.
I don't know. I don't like that.
No, look at the pictures, John.
Are they bad?
They're
didn't look.
shitty.
Wireframe
Okay.
mountains in the
Hey,
background.
you know what? They said, hey, look, here it is. It's what it is.
So at least they put up fair screenshots on
There
the
you
shell
go.
of the
Those are
actual product.
definitely the Switch, and those are like a good lighting situation. Here, I'll drop it in the chat there. But yeah, that's definitely the Switch game.
And to Shadow of Nexus, I don't mean Remedy, I mean Epic. Epic published the Switch version, not Remedy.
Okay. So Epic decided. Well, there you go. Not great. Not great. Unfortunately.
It is unfortunate.
Where's that?
Because
Switch Pro
it's a
coming?
fantastic game.
Switch
If you
Pro.
can play it on any other platform, play it there. Do not give them money with the Switch version.
13 gigs too. What took up
man.
the 13? I guess you know what else is the cutscenes, the remastered cutscenes.
Well, that's a shame. But there you go. Alan Wake, don't buy it on the Switch. Can't recommend it. And also, I assume Digital Foundry is going to do something on it, and it's going to be, I'm sure, wild. So,
Real quick with the Discord queue. Speaking of Alan Wake on Switch, what is another terrible port you've played?
WWE
Jesus
2K18.
Worst game ever. Rhyme was fucking atrocious.
Arc.
Arc was atrocious.
They might be. I heard they might be fixing that though.
Fixing that one.
That's
Pending some videos. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I have a feeling there might be some people that will make a video on the update of Arc. What else was bad? I don't know. I can't think of it.
Deadly Premonition.
That was actually a decent port of
It
what
ran
that
at
game
4
is.
frames a second.
Yeah, but
No.
it ran 2 when it originally came out. So
yeah. That was a shoddy game to begin with. It was
I hope I
campiness.
can make a game so bad that when I port it somewhere else, people say,
Deadly
it's
Premonition
4
2.
frames, but that's just how it is. It's fine. That's the joke.
Deadly Premonition 2 was the problem.
Alan Wake must be hilarious then. Gosh. Troll and I, that's another good one in the chat. I see that.
But that wasn't a good game to begin with.
yeah, Bloodstained was a really rough port on the
Bloodstained,
Switch.
yep.
All right. That's fine. We can move over to some news and then we'll come back and we'll talk about Mario Rabbit. Sparks of Hope. We had the Silent Hill showcase. It's this past week, and I have to give it to Konami. They showed up in force.
Did they?
I thought they were gonna do one game, and they came with more than one game.
But how many games are they making, John?
No. That's the thing, though. This is what I don't want Konami to make games. This is what I wanted. I was like, you know what, Konami, you're probably bad at making games now. Just let other people make them.
No, that's fine. That's fair. That's fair.
And technically, a bunch of their original art team is working on 2 right now, so they're kind of doing it, but in the capacity of just helping.
So we have, let's see, they kicked it off with the big one. Silent Hill 2 is indeed getting a remake. We have no idea when it's coming out. they didn't have any release dates for any of these games at all. Well, actually, I'm sorry, the live one they said next year, but like the games themselves, they didn't really have much to say. PS5 console exclusive for 12 months. So, the CMA, I'm sure, is like, that's a blind spot for them, I guess, right there. But 12 months for the PS5, and then it'll probably go to the Xbox, I assume, afterwards. But Silent Hill 2 Remake, I think it looked good. They didn't have any real gameplay, though. They just kind of showed off some cinematics, I assume in-engine stuff, and that was kind of it. I feel like that's probably enough for people who are fans of the game just to realize that something is happening. George, do you like any of the Silent Hill games, or do you not play them, really?
I like the Silent Hill games. I'm not like the biggest fan where I played every single release, but I think I'm excited that at least there's a bunch of stuff happening, for the franchise. Like, what's the last time this happened? 2012, when like an onslaught of just Silent Hill properties wouldn't stop coming out.
Yeah, we had on like the Vita or something, I think was like the last one, I feel like.
The book one?
Storybook game?
Yeah, it's been a while.
Did you see the alleged leaked gameplay though? It was just like 1 or 2 animations for the combat in the game. I don't know how I felt about that.
They're modernizing it over the shoulder gameplay. I'm curious how that's going to work for the quote unquote scary psychological stuff.
Because when you think of that trailer that they showed, it looked beautiful.
Yep.
But there was no gameplay in that.
That was
all
the big thing. Where it's like, I kind of feel like the setup they had originally, where it was kind of a fixed camera, it really helped with a lot of the stuff they were trying to pull off to make it scary. I'm curious how the over-the-shoulder, more action-oriented look's gonna work for them. But
I think it's just them trying to take cues of what the rest of the genre is doing, stuff like Evil Within, stuff like Resident Evil, and just trying to keep up with that. And if they think that's working for everyone else, they're going to try and replicate that as well.
Then we had Silent Hill Townfall. This is from No Code and Annapurna. They didn't really say what it was at all.
I feel like that's going to be like an interactive story type game.
Okay, maybe episodic even.
Yeah.
Okay. And we had a movie, Return to Silent Hill. How we feel about this, Jordan? Do you watch Silent Hill movie?
Yeah, I've seen both of them.
Okay.
The first one is all right. Like it's all right. It's all right. The second one is more stupid fun. Like the pyramid head scenes are just fun in that movie, and the nurses are kind of like creepy, but
got that big battle scene at the end.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's the peak of cinema, but they're definitely something. I'd probably rather watch a Silent Hill movie than a majority of the Resident Evil movies.
Apparently, J.J. Abrams is going to be involved in this.
Great, so that means we're just going to get a bunch of questions with no answers. And
that's the next one, Silent Hill Ascension. I'm sorry, this is Christoph Gans, director of the 2006 Silent Hill movie.
Okay, well, that shows me a little something there. That could be cool. We'll see what they do with that.
They announced this very early, by the way, as filming and casting are still going on.
Oh, and that always goes great. Yeah.
It sounds like it's going to be a while, but
is the script finished?
Apparently, it's based on or something with Silent Hill 2.
I thought they said it was supposed to be based around 2. Technically, the first game was a blend of 1 and 2 in like a weird way.
Okay. There you go. And then we had Silent Hill Ascension. This is the game that has J.J. Abrams involved, as well as the Dead by Daylight developer Behavior and DJ2 Entertainment. 2023 launch. I'm not really sure what this one is going to be. I think this is the one
it's like a stream.
This is the live real-time
game.
interactive series. Yes. Okay. Yep. So this is one they said millions of people are going to be involved in this. I assume everyone who watches will be able to alter or affect the story.
That's weird, bro.
I don't know how that's going to happen. Do we vote on stuff or?
Yeah, they kind of talked about it. You vote on ultimately like the direction, but it's still somewhat limited in scope. Like the developers do have a goal that they are shooting to. They talked about it a bit after the announcement, where they went into detail of how they're approaching the overall design and how people are going to interact with it and be able to vote on the directions and such and decisions.
Okay. Then we had it was a closeout, Silent Hill F. Once again,
Silent Hill 5, right? Is that
I assume this is the next big Silent Hill game, right? Because they didn't really mention much else as to what it was, other than just they had a weird like creepy cinematic with the person's like face falling down. Essentially, apparently this is being written by Ryukishi 7. People seemed really excited about that. I'm not sure that is. When I saw it, I was like
Ryukishi 6, honestly.
I double checked. They've done a lot of visual novel kind of writing, so they must be very familiar with writing a full narrative and all this. But I'm not really sure what to expect from this. I assume it's going to be a full Silent Hill game and it won't be like a visual novel kind of thing.
The one that's like set in Japan or something like that.
Yeah, because the other developer they have was known for RE4. RE4, I believe.
Yeah, that's a hell of a pedigree.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm like, that's an interesting pairing, I guess, to do a Silent Hill game. I assume it's not going to be action-based. Neobards Entertainment, that's the other developer with that. Okay.
Oh, Rikushi 7 did Higurashi.
Thank you, Sean.
No problem.
I'm sure you pronounced that correctly. I don't know enough to correct you one way or the other.
Hell yeah.
You know what? I got to give it to Konami. Significantly better than I was expecting. There was no pachinko machine. There was no NFT. It was mostly games. There was a movie, but mostly games. So for Konami, when I grade them on the Konami curve, this was like an A+++.
Oh,
good for
fuck
them.
you. I
had
did say it
something.
right according to the chat.
Oh, good. Wow. Okay. Nate, you had something else. You said this in your podcast.
Mm-hmm.
You seem pretty sure that Konami's not done.
They're not.
What is that
Konami
mean?
Konami is reinvesting in video games. It's been their goal for the last number of years. Silent Hill is really the kickoff project to show that they are back into gaming and they want to bring back their iconic IPs. And there are numerous games in development beyond Silent Hill, including Castlevania, and one I have heard firsthand is a Metal Gear Solid 3 remake.
How do you feel about that, Sean?
You've already broken my heart once with the Batman games on the Switch. If you break my heart again, I will kill you.
Is this you said Castlevania's coming back?
That is their intent, is to make a new Castlevania game.
As
What,
a
like
cell phone
2D or
game?
3D?
I don't know the
Or just
direction
Shadow
if it's
3?
going to be a 2D or 3D game.
What do you know?
They can pull
I
off
know
a
that a
2D one.
Castlevania is in development.
But so you just dropped it on Sean there. You're pretty sure you're hearing rumblings of Metal Gear Solid 3 remake.
Like, you don't understand how great that game would be with modern technology. The whole healing system, the whole camouflage system. Bro, that's gonna be fucking. They better not get rid of any of that. Don't get rid of the stamina. Don't get rid of the stamina. Don't get rid of any of that.
Who would do the remake though? Because that's Konami. What they're doing now is licensing out to other companies. So there'd be
Blooper team.
someone. Oh gosh,
No,
I didn't even bring them up with this.
D3T.
Blooper team 2.
I don't. Who would do that though?
it should be Virtuos.
Virtuos. I hear they're pretty good.
They're not doing it.
I hear Virtuos is good. Interesting.
They're too busy. Everyone's trying to always get them for things. It takes too long. They ain't getting them. Konami's gonna cheap out on them.
Virtuos,
Nope.
that's a good one to tap. You know what? I'm here for it. Metal Gear. Let's do it. Let's get all. You know, if they show up with a Metal Gear presentation like this and they have like 4 things to talk about, I'll be happy.
I mean,
There's
also been other rumors of a remaster of some of the older Metal Gear games. So it's going to be a question of how do they announce it? Are they going to do the Metal Gear Solid 3 remake first, or will we see the remasters of like Metal Gear Solid 2 and other titles first? I don't know about those remasters. I've never heard of those projects from my contacts. I only know of Metal Gear Solid 3 remake.
Get excited, Sean.
Let's get it going.
Get excited. I guess I will bring this up before we move on from the Silent Hill and Konami stuff. Bloober Team. What's the confidence check on this?
They're a company.
Silent Hill 2 remake. They're handling it.
They're awesome. They're gonna do a great job. I can't wait to play the game. Blooper team has done some great work in the past.
I know
I'm looking forward to what they got.
I know the original art team's helping out with them, but like I don't know, something about that trailer. The
I
facial,
thought you were serious for a moment. You got me.
the facial expressions that he
Maybe I
has
was.
in like all those scenes don't feel as good as they did in the priors, but I guess it's just the tech limitation of like the old PS2 because you can't really do the facial expressions. But like looking up in the mirror and he's got that like weird squint that he's staring at himself with versus in the PS2 version where he has that like hauntingly dead inside stare, and I was like, oh, it's a little weird. But I mean, I guess it's a choice being made by the art team, so hopefully it's fine.
See, that's going to be the thing with this release, where if there's any deviation from the original game, the immediate blame is going to be to Bloober Team
Yeah.
and what they're doing with the project. But Konami will be approving any of the changes made. Bloober Team doesn't just have free reign to do whatever they want with this release. Konami is going to approve of these things. So ultimately, any changes, the blame should shift to Konami and the individuals from even the main Silent Hill team back in the day who are approving of these changes. So Bloober's just kind of, they're going to fall on the sword for anything that happens negatively here.
What is the main Silent Hill team doing? Like, what are they
Being
doing?
silent? They're
Drugs.
in silence.
It's like, does
Hanging out on
Konami
the
even
beach.
got developers anymore? Like, what do they do? Like, what's the day to day?
Surprisingly, they do. Surprisingly, they do still have developers there.
What's the day to day at Konami? We wake up, hey guys, going to the office, just look at each other. Like what? Like you play? Like what do they do?
What's a good team to take on some of these projects?
They go play pachinko machines and go back. Yo, we got paid to do.
I mean,
nothing.
yeah, I assume they're trying to tie the movie and the games and I mean, who knows? Maybe even the pachinko machines together. And so there probably is approval processes, Nate's saying, with their intellectual properties where they're trying to.
Yeah, Konami is going to keep them very close on what's happening with this project. So I saw like a lot of people were making fun of the scene where he's holding the noose. And people are like, oh my God, look how stupid that looks. But that's literally a scene from Silent Hill 2. It's in the original game. So that's nothing new. It's not Bloober Team trying to be subtle with something that happened. It was a mini game in the original release. So some reaction to what the trailer was showing is just blind Bloober hate of no matter what they do, people are going to say, screw this game. Bloober sucks. Whereas it's going to be a case of let's see what they actually deliver. They could impress. They could exceed expectation. And they did go to Twitter and say what you saw in the trailer is in-engine. That is what they're targeting the game to look like when it releases.
Okay.
And I don't think, what we saw outside of like the facial expressions, I don't think anyone had a problem with that visual tier on display. It captured the atmosphere, it captured the feel, and even the face. Like, yes, the animation is a little off, but the face that they were rendering looked exactly like the actor portraying the character that they were motion capturing.
Okay.
So,
I think Bloober Team, as long as they don't have to try to create a game from scratch, story, narrative, the whole thing, I feel like they have the development.
they have
the brute force to get it done. Basically,
they have the technology to do it. Their weakness has always been to tell their own narrative, which they will not be doing here. The story isn't in their hands. It's written and composed by someone else. They're just building the visuals to tell that story. So their biggest drawback should be taken out of their hands in this case. And that's kind of a net positive for people concerned that they're going to alter the story in some way and make it Bloober. It shouldn't. It should still be Konami's story. It's going to be what Konami wants you to experience. Bloober is just assisting to deliver the goods.
There you go. Let me go over here to the super chats. We have Emblem. Says, MVG sad I missed you at PRGE. I was wanting you to sign my custom painted NES that I have all my favorite YouTubers sign. Are you going by chance to too many games next year? I would love to see everyone.
He was so afraid of that question, he didn't show up.
We'll try to get MVG out to too many games. He seemed to have fun at PRG though. So.
Did he though?
He said he did.
No.
Yeah, they also, pay to fly him out. Too many games going to pony up the bill.
There you go.
Now he's even further away from too many games.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
Man.
My ticket was expensive.
There you go. He's all the way on the other side of the country now. Man.
Yeah.
Let's see. Laura says, is an HP Pavilion RX 5500 good for $350 a steal or a robbery? I'm also looking at an LG monitor for $125. Are these really bargains? HP Pavilion for $350 with an RX 5500. I'd probably have to see the rest of it.
Something sounds ghetto in there. Like I would hold up on all that.
$350. I have to see the rest of it, like RAM, what kind of SSD is in there, those sorts of things. Because sometimes you'll see like a laptop might have a really good GPU and then you look, it's like 8 gigabytes of RAM. It's like, what happened here?
Yeah.
So that's, I mean, $350 for, at this point nowadays with pricing around like across the board, $350 for a working computer appears to be a good price now. So I'd have to see the rest of the build though, but $125 the LG monitor. I don't know what the make is exactly on it. It's okay, it's an IPS. I think you're starting to see 1440p monitors fall under $200 now even. So I would still look for 1440p either way, if you can, just for some future proofing. El Grudge says, got my Switch limited run copy of Quake in this week. Shout out to MG.
Damn, took long enough. I still haven't gotten my fucking shredder.
Still?
Monday. Mine's coming Monday.
Okay.
I don't even think I got an email about it.
Amazon, did you get it from Amazon?
No, I got the collector's edition that'll come out in 7 years with a free pizza coupon. Not even a Pizza Hut around me.
I thought the pizza coupon came in all the copies.
Does it?
Yeah,
I want
think it
that
comes in the
pizza.
standard copies too.
Yeah,
That's
I want
some
that.
bullshit.
I want that pizza.
3D says Call of Duty has good graphics. It does. Let's go over that actually real quick. We'll talk about Call of Duty. Actually, no, we'll talk about Mario Rabbids. I'll talk about Mario
Who else
Rabbids.
played it?
Sparks of Hope came out. I played it. Nate played it. You played. Nate's been playing this thing for a little bit, I think. But I
Okay,
played
cool.
it. You played it. Nate played it. Sean didn't.
Don't tell
play
my secret.
Sparks of- Oh, sorry. He didn't play Sparks of Hope. My bad. Evan and Fled. Jordan. Sparks. No. Okay. Cool. So Mario Rabbids Sparks of Hope came out Thursday, which was kind of odd anyway. I was happy with it because it gave me a little bit of a head start on it because Friday a bunch of stuff started hitting. And yeah, so it did come out on Thursday. I picked it up, and I think I'm at the end of the second world. I just finished that, the ice world, and I'm enjoying it so far. I have some thoughts on it though. Nate, you want to start us off? What do you think so far of it? And we'll kind of go around here to OJ and everything.
I finished the game, and
Oh, okay, great.
it's a good sequel. It builds upon what the first game offered. My only, I guess, critique on the game is that it never had a wow moment for me. It was just a steady, this is a great game. And it didn't feel like as though it was building up. It was just solid throughout. And I like the way like the Lumas are used. You level them up. It has a nice Mario feel of feeding them. And then, they get fat and give you upgrades and all that. The Rabbid characters, a little more annoying this time. They're more talkative, but you don't need a Rabbid in your party, which is a nice departure from the first game. If you just want Mario characters, you can have Mario characters. If you want a full roster of Rabbid characters, you can just have Rabbid characters. It feels like it's a little more streamlined in terms of character customization options on the first game, which maybe is an intentional design point. But if you were a fan of the first game, I would definitely recommend picking up this one. It's more of the same quality strategy RPG that the first game offered, and plenty to love here.
Okay. Good. What do you think of it, OJ, so far? I know you probably didn't finish like Nate did.
No, I didn't finish it. Got
I
past
haven't either,
second area. I enjoy it. Yeah, I agree with Nate in terms of what Nate said for the most part. Although I haven't finished it, so I don't know if like it doesn't build up or whatever the case is. But yeah, it seems like a pretty solid, good sequel. I like you don't have to use the Rabbid characters, but they're actually really good. So like they're actually
they are.
They're really good. So it's like you're gonna want to use them. That's like thing. Like I don't hate Rabbids. I absolutely hate the Rabbid characters, but they're a little bit more tolerable. In this one, just because they're dressed up like Mario characters, I guess, and they have super dope abilities. Like the Rabbid Mario, like up close, he's like unstoppable if you put him like with the cool like Luma and like you power him up and stuff. So it's pretty dope to kind of see the different abilities. I think that the change from like the grid to free movement was a very good addition to the game. I think that's going to help like with the streamlining process, and it also helps separate it from a Fire Emblem or XCOM or a game like that. And it reminds me kind of a little bit more of like Valkyria Chronicles. And that game's hardly ever done. People usually don't make games like Valkyria Chronicles, so it's cool to see a strategy RPG go back to that format. So very enjoyable on that end. I like the extra challenges and stuff. The side quests are dope. But yeah, it's just like I said, it's safe but really good sequel to the game. So if you're looking for a dope strategy RPG that kind of has like a hybrid between like XCOM, Valkyria Chronicles, all of that, like it's great. I'm enjoying it a lot. The humor's fun.
I like the change to the movement. It got some. I had to get used to it a little bit though. It was kind of weird at first, where they're like, "All right, here's the area, run around in this," because I'm used to just picking the character and then moving them to a certain grid, and like then they run to it. But I got used to it, and then you start chaining together the jumps and the slides as you build up your skill tree, and you're doing a lot of damage all at once, which was pretty cool. The only issue I've had so far, again early on in the game, is I don't know if there's any other progression that opens up. Like Nate, right now I have the skill tree, you have the sparks. I'm waiting for something else to open up. Like some other skill tree, let me give you an example. I thought the weapons would have been more involved with building up your characters, because in the first one they did at least affect some things. It appears that these are just skins that you get.
Yeah, the weapons are more limited this time around in comparison to the first game.
So I'm just like that you basically earn coins by doing quests or different skirmishes on each world. And I spent 2 of them early on like a weapon. I was like, oh, cool. Maybe this gives the weapon innate fire ability or something, and I could mix it with a spark, and like that'd be kind of cool to have like lightning fire or something. And I think they just dress up your guns and stuff. And I now I'm just not buying any, so I don't really know what I would do with them then, other than just change the weapon based on my mood. I don't know. But that was the only thing. I was like, I'm waiting for something else to open, a skill tree, a special power that I get, something. And I'm kind of thinking what I have right now is what I'm going to roll through the game with, like, overall.
One area where the game maybe could have been more clear is that maybe for older individuals like us or people who are seasoned with this genre type should have defaulted the game to hard mode. Because if you play on normal, you're going to steamroll the game.
It's pretty easy, yeah. Yeah, no, this is one of those games.
I wanted to mention that because I just put it on the hard mode from the beginning, because the original game is not hard on normal. The normal mode is the easy mode. The easy mode's the baby mode. The hard mode's the normal mode. So that's how this game is as well. So I already kind of knew it, but yeah, defaulting on hard mode. Although the one thing about that is that like certain bosses, like if you're not good, I mean, like they can kill you in one hit. Like, you know, they can like the first boss, like if he crits you, like he can just hit you and like kill you in one hit on the hard mode. On the hard mode he can. Not on the normal mode, I don't know, but I know on hard mode I was playing and he critted and killed my Rabbid Peach. She already had a little bit of damage on her, but like she got critted and just boom, wiped her out. So I think it's one of those things to where I think some people might get a little bit frustrated if they defaulted on that. But yeah, you're absolutely right about it. Like it's too easy on normal. Like it's definitely too easy on normal.
It really is. And when I was first playing it on normal and I was going through it, I was kind of thinking to myself, I was like, well, maybe the game is one of those experiences where it's going to ramp up as I'm going along. It just wasn't getting there. So I just went to the menu. I was like, I have to go to hard because it's too easy right now. But one of the areas where the game really expanded upon is the exploration.
Yes.
Where you're going through all these environments. There's puzzles, there's side quests. Sometimes you have to go back to a planet once you gain, you know, a new Luma ability to do side quests. So the game really has a lot of replay value and it encourages exploration, solve puzzles, so you could find all the additional stuff hidden throughout the world, or you can ignore all of that and just focus on the main narrative line. So there's a lot of options of how you want to approach the game.
They went back to made it more of an adventure game. More than the
Yes.
first one is how I describe it. But I liked the visuals. They went more into that pastel kind of painting look. It's flatter than the first one, but it feels more colorful when you get outside of the first one you go to, it's just raining. It's just so dreary and boring looking, but after you clear it up, it brightens up and it looks fine there. But it's definitely a shift in kind of the art style a little bit too, from the first one. But
yeah, you can change the difficulty too, like during before the mission. So like if you're having trouble, like if you're someone new that's picking it up and you're having trouble with the difficulty, or if you want to try to do a tougher battle and test it out, it's pretty easy just to shift the difficulty right there before each battle. So that's cool too. But yeah, I agree with what you guys were saying when it comes to the other stuff. I'm enjoying it.
I like what I'm seeing here, Sean. I would check it out. I'd pick it up and see what you think. Strategy RPG is pretty good.
Yeah, I'll check it out. I'll probably pick it up when it's on sale or something, because I will.
The first one at one point was on sale for $10, so I don't doubt that this one will eventually get there. Maybe a year or two from now, I could see that.
Yeah, now this is one thing I was kind of feeling as I was going through the game. I'll be curious if either of you agree with it.
Oh, is it getting a Switch Pro patch? Probably.
No.
Oh, sorry.
Even though the game itself is still branded Mario Rabbids and it has the Mario Galaxy theme to it, it felt as though the core of the game was almost moving in a direction where they're not going to rely on potentially having Mario be a staple. Almost where this could just be a franchise on its own, devoid of Mario. Like it wasn't as dependent on like the Mushroom Kingdom this time around. It almost felt like as if Rayman and the Rabbids were doing this exact same game, it still would be a quality
Do
experience.
you think
it wasn't,
Ubisoft is setting it up just in case?
it almost feels like maybe that's something in the back of their mind where they can continue this line for the Rabbids as a franchise just without Mario being forefront. Maybe like a
feel like
spin-off
Mario
for
helped
other
sell a lot of
platforms.
those copies, though.
Yeah,
Oh,
Mario-
absolutely.
Mario, but I mean, the gameplay would still
what
be
you're saying,
good.
though.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. The gameplay would still be good whether Mario was there or not. Like, could they do this with Rayman and maybe something else? I mean, they could. I mean, I felt that it should have been Mario and Rayman in the first place. Like, it should have been Mario and Rayman characters teaming up together. You know, I don't know. Rabbids are just dumb. I don't like Rabbids. I don't. But I think that you're the gameplay would work even without Mario. Like, it would still be a hype game, or it'd still be fun to play. But obviously, Mario makes it, way more appealing to so many more people. But yeah, I mean, you're right though, Nate. Like, they could, like, if Rayman is really dope in the game, like the characters from Rayman, like, could they just do like a game that's like Rayman cross whatever or Rabbids, and
Yeah,
that would
Mario
be like the
and
next game?
Rabbids, whatever they want to call it. And we know we're getting that DLC eventually, where maybe we're going to get a sampling of the future direction that this IP could take in if the day ever comes where Mario and Rabbids is just no longer a viable path for them. Like, I'm not saying that is going to happen. It's just the idea that you're not forced to have like Mario in your party. Whereas in the first one, they made it a focus of Mario is really the main character of this game. Everyone else is complementary. This time it's kind of make whatever play the game how you want. The theme is Mario Galaxy, but you can make your party the way you want it. You can experience the game your way, in contrast to the first one where they basically positioned it as this is a Mario game made by Ubisoft.
Evan, you want to hit us with a Discord question?
I think this one might have a typo in it. How often do you all use Portal emulators on Steam Deck, Miu, Mini, Retroid, Pocket, Neo, etc.? I'm thinking he means portable emulators.
Okay.
I have them all set up from the previous owner, but I just used them just to see what they do. I don't know. I feel like I have so many emulation devices already. It's like I just want to play the hardcore shit. Like, I was fucking playing Spider-Man. Yeah, like I was playing Spider-Man today while my car was getting serviced, and I was just like, "This is fucking great." And then I got a free corn muffin. And it was delicious.
Yeah, that's what I usually
corn muffin. Believe me.
On the Steam Deck, that's what I'll usually just play like the larger games rather than play like the like there are game systems now that you can get that are pretty easy to find and cheap, and they play a lot of the like Dreamcast games and stuff even. Whereas the Steam Deck is one of those things where I can actually fire up Need for Speed Heat and play that as an example, and you really don't see that in any other handhelds. So that's kind of what I use my Steam Deck for mostly. But in terms of just my PSP Go actually gets used the most right now for the emulation devices that are handhelds because it's smaller and the battery life's not bad on it. So.
My PSP Go, the battery is the internal battery.
Is it?
Dead.
It's
I
not
can
too.
only play it on
It's
charge.
not too
Stop
bad.
it! I'll just play.
Sorry.
I'll play something else. I got a million other devices. I'll be fine.
Man, I do want to play around more with the Neo Air that I have here. I'm gonna do a video on because it has an OLED screen.
You could throw that Logitech. Just throw that away.
I should do a video on it though.
It sucks, dude.
Well, I have an update.
I'm getting that Razer. I'm getting that Razer. What's that, Jordan?
I have an update to last week. I've officially purchased a Steam Deck.
My boy.
Okay, cool.
When's it gonna be there?
Hopefully it says in the next 2 weeks. So
we'll have to get your first impressions on that.
Yeah, I'm excited.
in the podcast.
I'm excited. I felt left out. Everyone else was having fun with their Steam Deck, and I'm like,
I don't have one. I need to get one.
It's time to get. It's time. It's a good entry. Sean is now a PC gamer. All right,
I am.
He's in.
Good job.
All right, it just took the Steam Deck to do it, but now he's playing as many PC games even as Evan. Just wild.
Yeah, then we'll have a LAN party, and I'll bring my Steam Deck.
You technically could.
Yeah.
You can. You have a dock, don't you?
Yeah.
We can play Dark Tide.
You know, I'm
on
such
LAN.
a fucking idiot. Because I looked at Bob Wolf's video on the Steam Deck dock because I wanted to see if it was any better, and it's not, at least as of right now. But I was such an idiot that I wasn't comprehending that when I'm playing these games in docked mode, I need to adjust things. I need to adjust the screen resolution and stuff like that.
But it doesn't automatically do it?
No, because each individual game has its own individual settings. It's not like just an easy thing. So like I was playing some game, like I was playing Spider-Man. I was like, this is like fucking dog shit. Like it shouldn't look this bad. And I was like, oh, after I watched this video, it kind of clicked for me. So now that $40 J6 deck or whatever the fuck it's called, it's actually good. I like it.
Okay. Very good. Very good. You have another Discord question, Evan?
What are your thoughts on Vampire Survivors as a Game of the Year contender? Anyone here play that, or was it like just
I haven't
me?
played this game, dude. People say this game is legit. Like
It's
is
cool.
the game.
I do like it, but it's a lot of it's about like who's on the server with you, like what are you doing on that server
Let me
with
look
people.
at this game real quick. First impressions.
It's
Vampire
cool
Survivors.
It's isometric. It's similar to like a
What is
Diablo and
going
stuff
on
like
here?
that, but it also involves
What?
base building. There's like camps, and there's like NPC people that wander around and do stuff that are technically, I guess you would farm them for blood and stuff. Like it's a cool game. It's just, I don't know. It comes down to who you're playing with and against.
This is not exactly what I was expecting when I typed in Vampire Survivors.
Yeah, when I first started playing it, I was like, oh,
I dropped the screenshot I dropped the screenshot in the Discord for Vampire Survivors.
Oh, I'm thinking the wrong one. Damn.
That's the right one, right? That game?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. It looks kind of like a 16-bit kind of game almost.
Yeah, chat's right.
Right.
I was thinking V Rising for a second. I think my buddy played Vampire Survivors for like a day. I can't remember what else he did with it.
All right, let me take a look at this.
All right.
I'll be the
Get it on your
judge
Steam
there.
Deck. You can double check
I'm
it.
not buying that.
Is that a
shit.
screenshot of the game?
What the fuck is this bullshit?
It's only $3.99.
It's
It
Sean,
came out-
it's $4.
First off, it came out early access 2021, so
Okay.
no, it's not. It can't be a candidate for 2022. A cheap
Grounded could
minimalistic,
be, right?
Oh, our second go. A cheap minimalistic indie game is my game of the year. I mean, just my glasses. Get out of here. I'm sure it's a fine game, but it's a $4 game, like John said. It looks like there's a bunch of shit happening on the screen. This ADD ass generation with a 2-second attention span, they probably like that shit.
I thought you were the PC
EBT?
ambassador over here. What happened? He turned real quick on
What'd you
everybody.
call them?
Fucking ADD generation.
Oh, I thought you said EBT.
That would have been funnier though.
Oh no.
You said EBT. I was like, bro, chill.
Sean just turned on the whole PC community immediately.
No, I've been playing Uncharted on my PC.
Man, apparently you got to get this game. You're representing the PC crowd. You got to try Vampire Survivors.
I'm good on that.
There's a lot of games that have come out since it in the same vein that conceptually are better in some ways, so you can take a look around. It's kind of
Overwhelmingly positive on Steam.
it's kind of like whenever one of those new titles comes out, or the new concept thing comes out, like PUBG and stuff, and then all the games start coming out after it that refine it or change it. So
which streamer made this a big game?
See, look, people in the
that's what
chat
we
are
need to
saying
know.
you got to play it first, Sean, before you judge it.
I mean, it looks fine. Like I'm watching the trailer for the game. I understand it's Gauntlet. See, I'm old. I remember a game called Gauntlet, which is this pretty much same premise. Like I'm sure it's fine, but
yeah, I think
No.
Brotato's the current one that people are talking about.
Play it right on your Steam Deck, Sean. There you go. I can't
the
imagine.
Asmon Gold played it. There you go.
Can't imagine the system requirements are very high. No,
You can probably run on the
processor.
Switch at this rate. Shit.
You can run it on an old Nokia phone.
You have another Discord question, Evan?
What camera are you currently using for YouTube?
That
one.
Don't use one.
I have this one right now is this is a Sony A6400, I think, for the webcam usage. The main one I have is like a Panasonic GH5, and then I have a G7 as well, and then a G85.
I don't know the name.
A lot of Panasonic cameras, actually. I'm thinking about it. They work well. You have another Discord question, Evan?
This is always a rough one.
You have a G7, Sean. Go on.
But I don't use it anymore.
Oh, great.
I just watched some gameplay of this Vampire Survivors game. I mean, it's a bullet hell game.
Yeah, it's bullet hell.
Yeah, it's a bullet hell mixed with Gauntlet.
Actually, the trailer looks pretty awesome.
I mean, it's not something I.
Sean will be back next week, like just a dance.
Yeah, Sean's gonna buy it when he can't sleep at 3 a.m. He's gonna say, "This fucking game is awesome."
Bro, my sleep is so jacked up.
I guess I'll what are the worst, least bad, and most bland looter slashers released so far? Talking specifically, he's pointing out things like Godfall, Babylon's Fall, Gotham Knights currently is one of them.
There you go, all those.
The kind of the melee looters,
Yeah.
sort of. I mean, I'm gonna say Babylon's Fall because it didn't make it a year.
I don't think it made it a week, right? Like,
Well, I mean, technically, we all knew it was dead after a week, but yeah, they tried. They canceled seasons, though. It went 11 and a half months, and that was that. And that was Square and Platinum. So that's maybe the looter melee doesn't really work that well. I don't know.
What was that other one? Outriders?
That's more. That's a shooter, though, and that actually did well.
It survived a bit. They got an expansion that people liked.
That's the one where I feel like it did all right, and Square was just kept telling people can fly it didn't make any money. But they're the ones who have the numbers. So
Didn't the developers were like, yeah, we don't even know the numbers, and we're not even getting paid or something like that.
Yeah, we trust them. We trust the publisher, the people who are telling us that it didn't make enough money to give us any money.
Boycott them. Boycott. I'm calling for a boycott.
Agreed.
I did that passively.
Most people
You
did.
didn't announce
I played
it on Twitter.
Outriders.
Wait, you didn't announce it on
man.
Twitter and tell everyone so they can join your cause? What?
I played Outriders.
They were giving out bags for that game, and I never got one, so fuck them.
Let's talk about Call of Duty, Sean. Modern Warfare 2.
Already people in the chat already said they like the campaign. I find the campaign to be boring.
Good.
I think it's
Oh
boring.
my gosh.
I don't care about Hassan. Is Hassan here? Oh, Hassan was here. Oh, we gotta find Hassan. Oh, we found Hassan. Oh wait, he beat me up. Oh wait, now we gotta go look for Hassan again. It's like fucking put a tracker on his ass or something. Like
you're gonna find him pretty soon, Sean. It's actually pretty early on in the game that you do find him. But
what part am I on? I'm on the part I did the boat part, and now I'm I did the houses part where I was supposed to be shocked at that. That motherfucker pulled out his shit on me after we identified ourselves. That's on you, my brother. And so, I did that part, and then I found went into that house where you got to clean out the house. I don't know. It's just, it feels very samey to me. Like, and people complain about fucking the Call of Duty or Halo, like, oh, you can't shoot the fruit or whatever. There's like nothing interactive in these. Like, you're in actual people's houses, and there's like a lamp, and I'm like meleeing the lamp, shooting the lamp. Nothing happens to the lamp.
2 liter of soda on one of the counters. I shot it, and it actually deflated, and soda came out.
Yeah, but there's certain
They're picky
things
and
like
choosy.
There's like a bottle that I found that was just in a hallway that led to nowhere where a bunch of guys came out of. So I guess they were like hanging out in there, like playing poker or something, waiting for me to emerge from the boat dock so that they could come out of that door. And there was a singular bottle there that I shot, and you could do it. I mean, it's fine if you like Call of Duty campaigns. I've never liked them. I don't care about them. I like military shooters for the multiplayer. They're a guilty pleasure of mine.
So the reason I like what they've done here is because they dropped the campaign before the multiplayer. So when they drop the game completely, you might get pulled away from the campaign to go play multiplayer with some friends or whatever, I kind of like the idea of I got a week, I'm going to play through the campaign, and then I'll just roll into the multiplayer. I kind of like that setup there for it. But Jordan, you liked Modern Warfare, the first one. The rebooted one we just had. You liked it.
Yeah, we talked extensively, like the visuals in that game and how impressive.
The ending scene, after credits scene, with Price talking with Laswell, and they start going over the documents and seeing all the people in there because they rebooted the series, and obviously fans of the first trilogy have favorite characters. Throughout that trilogy, they were getting killed off all over the place. The idea of this reboot is they're bringing them back. And I think that there was a lot of hype going to this one because after that post-credit scene, they're starting to name Ghost and Soap, and they reveal Gaz is there, and people got real hyped and they hit credits, and everyone was like, oh, really? Immediately in this, you're just Ghost. Immediately. It's like, here you are. You're going to start running with this. And then you get Soap involved, and they're doing that thing where they're going around between different characters, and they're introducing by like, oh, we need to go out here to this area. I know someone. And it pops in, and it's like, they're Soap, and they're like, so they're doing a lot of that cool stuff for people who liked the original trilogy or the trilogy of Call of Duty Modern Warfare. I really like what I'm seeing here. My only thing is, the stakes don't feel very high, and they're trying to convince me that they are right now. So I think they're leading up to that mid-game climax where something big is going to happen, because early on in the game, there's intercontinental missiles that are stolen by a terrorist group, and the way they did that is they kind of got around U.S. intelligence, so that failed. So now they're concerned that something big is going to happen, where terrorists have missiles that can hit any part of the U.S. And you're kind of going through. You have the set pieces, as Sean's saying, with the CQC, where you're going through the houses, like that mission in the Modern Warfare that everyone remembers. It is really good. They kind of redid it like twice in this already. It's still good though. They did a ghillie suit mission. I finished that up, so that's involved. And there are some other cool set pieces that I don't want to ruin, but I'm waiting for that big thing to happen where you're right in front of a nuke that goes off. That was a really big moment that a lot of people remember from the Modern Warfare. Or you're at the White House and it's crumbled and you're looking out and they got the flag up there and it, like those kind of things. Or somehow they figured out
restaurants.
They figured out how to blow up the International Space Station somehow in that trilogy. I'm waiting for something like that to happen. So that's kind of where I am now. But I'm 10 missions in, and they're quick. They're 8 to 10 minutes. Very quick. So you're on and on and on. You're moving. They don't rest very long. So I like
the path either.
Well, yeah, they kind of, it's a narrative driven single player shooter. It's a shooting gallery with set pieces and characters that you may or may like. If you like the characters, you're going to like this game.
The only thing I've seen on the campaign, because I've been very like I know I'm going to play it regardless, but I saw the pretty impressive visuals of just like, I don't know the context of it, but you're just walking in like first person in like in a town or a city. And it just visually looked pretty impressive, like photorealistic to like maybe not the people so much in their walking movements, but the land that you're walking through looked really good.
So interestingly enough about this is they are using like the I think photogrammetry stuff, but there is an option you can turn off or leave on. It reserves 24 gigabytes of your drive, and what it does is it streams and downloads assets as you need them per area to bring in like super high quality textures. So yes, the game looks really good when it comes to the landscapes and everything that you're running into. It is very impressive stuff. So if you played the beta, the multiplayer, people were like, it doesn't look that great because they're turning down settings to keep that frame rate really high. No, this is like, they just went all out. It actually looks like that moment of, okay, this feels like they're shooting to use the PS5 and the Series X completely. So I like the campaign, what I've seen so far, but I also enjoy the characters, and they're bringing all of them back. And now we're on this big mission where everyone's coming together to save a person. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Don't listen to Sean. It's fun. And it's probably not going to be that long anyway. The Call of Duty campaigns are short. They're like 6 hours maybe. So enjoying it though. Enjoying it. Let's Evan, we got a Discord question over there.
Just two things. One's someone shouting out me doing all this for the Spawncast and editing Newswave. The other is asking, where did I get my video editing experience from? Basically, you just have to look up, I guess, a list of commonly used terminology and then try to figure out what that does or how to do that for like ripple editing.
I feel like we just messed around with the software until we figured it out.
That's part of it, but then you still have to know like the refining stuff, like how to use constant power, when and why, like stuff like that for audio and clipping. And then program wise, if you're just looking to get into it to start, DaVinci's Resolve is usually a good way to go because it's free and it does basically everything. So that one's a solid one.
Okay.
And
Let me go. Yep. Okay, cool. I'll go back to some of the super chats here. Where did I leave off? I think someone was making fun of the Yankees. I gotta find that. 16-bit rival says it's always good to catch everyone live. It's late in the UK. Should voice actors be paid for the amount of work they do or the impact they make? I feel like
the amount
that's
of work that they do, and
okay.
It could be incentive driven if they make an impact. But who's to say what character is going to make an impact? How is the impact justified? I assume you're talking about a main character, but what about a side character? What if people like the side character more than the main character? Did they make more of an impact? It's a very
there's an answer, RGT.
What?
They should be paid what they feel that they're worth. And if you don't feel like you're worth that, and go do something else, then find something else to do. You should be paid what you're worth. You should know your worth as a voice actor and don't do jobs that you feel that aren't paying you what you're worth. So there's not, I mean, I've seen a lot of people say there should be some set amount. Well, if it's a big game, they should get paid this. I'm like, no, that's not how any business works at all. They're not just gonna, if it's a big game, what if the game doesn't sell well? What if the game is, some games make more than others.
Money.
Yeah, some games make more than others. So it shouldn't just be some type of standard amount since it's a big game. That's just not how it works. And if you're a celebrity, how much work have you done? How much experience do you have? I was telling this on the
promotion.
Yeah,
If you have a big social media following, are you going to be promoting this game? Like that shit's important in 2022.
Like with Jordan, like, certain like advertisements, right? Like Jordan gets Genshin Impact, right? They're going to pay Jordan more than they're going to pay me because Jordan has more subscribers, has more followers, has more clout, gets more views. Same thing goes. Like they're not just going to, we can be doing the same thing for a big game. We both have big channels, right? But they're going to pay people more based on what their value is. Jordan's valued higher, right? So it's not just a set amount for a big game, Like some people don't get that, there's also other factors that go into what you get paid for various different things. So yeah, know what you're worth. So shout out to the voice actors though, like know what you're worth and do jobs that you feel is worth, what you're worth.
Liam says, I like the week summary shorts format, John. See that, Sean? Shorts, YouTube shorts.
He was probably paid by you to give that.
Truly Epic says the McRib is back, baby.
Jordan and I looked. It's not back in our regions yet.
Oh man,
I was excited and then disappointed all in the span of 5 minutes.
And I even checked like different food delivery apps because sometimes like Grubhub or DoorDash doesn't update quicker, and Uber Eats does, and now it's nothing.
Brandon says Cold Steel done. Thoughts? You're killing me. Big fan of y'all in the series. OJ, love you. But East Coast all the way. I'm from Florida. I have not gotten back to Cold Steel. It's rough right now. Things are.
East Coast all the way. I'm from Florida, man. You just like dookied on yourself right there, man. But anyway, hey, shout outs though. I appreciate it, homie.
I haven't gotten
East
back
Coast
to
all the way. Go Florida. Like what?
I haven't gotten back to it, unfortunately. But it's just like so much stuff is happening right now in terms of game releases. I haven't had a chance to get back to. I will though. I will. Tijo says Trails into Reverie just got announced for PS5. I'm hoping Nisa does a free upgrade and save feature despite the PS4 version having VR support. Why must companies like Sega not do this? Sega, yeah,
Money.
and Atlas. They do kind of go just buy it again. Money. And I don't know. This is from David, who says RGT as a Patreon supporter. Can I get first dibs on the Logitech Cloud handheld? Would you take 150 in sealed Switch games? JK, love your content.
No, if you watch to the end of the video, you'll know what the end game is for the Logitech Cloud.
Okay. Let's see. This is from H Doom says when the Yankees lose, it's always a good day.
The hell it is.
Nate's going through it right now. Okay, it's either going to be one of the more embarrassing sweeps ever, or it could be one of the greatest comebacks in history. So you can sleep easy with that, Nate.
Nate, just
They ain't coming back. They're not winning a World Series while Boone is manager.
Nate, just beat Plague Tale and experience the pain of that, and that'll make you lose focus.
Well, I mean, the Yankees probably lose tomorrow, then it's just all over.
But just watch the Sixers. Be like, it could be worse.
I did see that dive. It was hilarious.
Gold Pac-Man says, did you know that Spawn the Demon of Hell once appeared in Archie Sonic comic, and that was before he appeared in Mortal Kombat 11?
I didn't know that. I don't read comics. Although I have some Knights comic books that were made by Archie.
I Live for Retro said, did anyone notice the price of the original Silent Hill 2 go up? I know it's already been kind of it's $100 for now, right?
It's been expensive
but it probably went up even more. I think I have that. I think I have the Xbox version of that.
Okay. Rams fan says, after the Silent Hill announcement, is Nate's neck hurting watching MVG duck and dodge him? Big shout out to RJ.
MVG's definitely been trying to avoid Silent Hill hard for the last several weeks. And I was talking to him before we recorded the podcast that the original announcement window for the Silent Hill event was in the first week of September while he was in Australia. And that information was actually confirmed in the metadata where it said 9/09/22 for the presentation itself and the tease would have been 90722. So MVG's been doing his best to avoid Silent Hill.
It's okay. He's sleeping in his bed now at fucking 7 o'clock at night, tucked in, a little blankie, hot water bottle.
Hot water bottle?
Yeah.
Sure. Sure. Wolf says, since Halloween is coming up, what is the scariest moment you've ever experienced in a game? I vote the entirety of Silent Hill 2. I kind of feel like that.
It depends on your age,
It kind of messes with you a little bit. Because I'm thinking of like, because I was younger, it was at the PS2, right? With the Metal Gear Solid 2 stuff.
What?
That was kind of freaky.
Well,
where
when
they
it
tell you to
starts talking,
scissors,
Two
61.
scared you?
where they tell you to turn off the PS2 and stuff
it
like
starts
that.
talking to you
whoa,
about
this
like
is
the
weird.
save files you have and stuff.
Yeah, I feel like that one was kind of like, wait a minute, that's strange. Because I didn't experience Eternal Darkness back then when it like had
You didn't
come
play
out.
Resident Evil 1?
Yeah, I would say Resident Evil.
I didn't really find the Resident Evil stuff as scary back then.
No,
for
but
some
here's the
reason.
thing. I did not have a PS1, and my biological father came down to visit me and my parents. And so he went and we rented a PS1, and I didn't have a memory card. I didn't know you needed one because, I'd been playing cartridge systems. And so I'm playing the game. I get up to the yawn. I'm like, holy fuck, what am I supposed to do here? The yawn kills me. And they're like, oh, go fuck yourself. And I was like, wait, it didn't save anything? You need a memory card? What the fuck? It pissed me off so much.
This is from D'Angelo says, Spawn, watch your video earlier today. I want yours in the cast opinion. Do you some companies, AAA companies will opt out of Xbox over the Series S?
No.
No, I don't think so either. The Series S is actually selling well for Microsoft too. That's the
guy who started the claim made a game that was like about a goldfish.
He's a mobile developer.
He's a mobile developer. He makes mobile games.
And his first release on the Series X released in such a poor state that none of the inputs on the controller would even register in the game. So I'm not going to take the opinion of a developer who can't release a basic mobile port on the Xbox seriously, when it just seems as though he might have an agenda against Microsoft and the Xbox.
You kind of have to remember the term developer is not the same as it was back in the 90s. The barrier of entry to develop games for anything has completely changed. We're like, one jerk off can make like a fucking huge game. I don't know why I call him a jerk off. He might be a nice person, but like one individual can make like a whole game. And look at like back on the Wii U, all those indie games that came out that nobody remembers that were made by like one person because nobody was making games for it.
What about Timon Smektala?
Who?
Dying Light 2 lead designer, who said in February 2022, we're fixing the co-op issues, was responding to someone about Dying Light 2, and they were talking about the Series
Oh,
S,
I know what you're talking about.
but the console's GPU is holding us back.
But then that was proved to be bullshit because they said they couldn't do certain graphical things in terms of frame rates and resolution, and then they released a patch to do the frame rates and resolution that they couldn't do.
Yep, they did. Because to my understanding, because I had a good conversation with MVG earlier today about that. Things have improved, obviously, in the background as well as after the system has come out over time, which is development tools too. So, but it seems like Dying Light 2 got worked out. So I assume the Goldfish game will be okay too.
Maybe.
Maybe
we should have him come on. We'll have him come on the after show. Like, what the fuck is your deal?
According to TippyCraft, you can get Ski Sniper on Steam Deck, Sean.
Whoa, that's like the definitive edition.
Might have to check the concurrent player count for that game.
I don't think it would register.
Sicilian Gamers, is everyone more excited for RE4 Remake or Silent Hill Remake? Also, I specifically don't want to hear RGT85's opinion. You're gonna hear it anyway. Let's talk about the Resident Evil showcase. Because I was going into this showcase with pretty low expectations overall. I didn't feel like we're gonna see anything too new in terms of big announcements, like brand new announcements. We already kind of knew about some of the stuff they were going to show. Man, Resident Evil 4.
Oh my goodness.
This is the highlight, right? I mean, yeah, Resident Evil Village, and then the Rose DLC. Sure, that's out next week.
Can we say,
man, Resident Evil 4 remake looks good.
This is a remake,
bro.
This is a remake. Like when people say remake and then you say remake and you're like, wow. I mean, listen, I'm not trying to hate on Sony,
No,
Not
fuck
trying
that.
to hate
I
on
took
Sony.
shots at them in my video.
I know you did, but damn, this makes The Last of Us Part 1 look terrible in comparison. Like, goodness gracious, man. Like,
It looks fucking amazing.
it makes it look, because like you've got new moves, the graphics look incredible.
New
The game-
areas too.
Yeah, new areas. You've got new destruction. Like the chainsaw dude can like close off areas. Like you can block the parry. That was like the cool. I was like jumping up and down.
The chainsaw was getting thrown around. He was knocking pillars over, and like the roof was coming down on him and stuff, and he still come after you. That was wild.
You still have the same strategies, like even like in that first area, like at the village place, like you can like where like you can go up, you get the shotgun, you can go out the window, but then like they change it up, man. I mean, I was blown away by how awesome this game looks. Like incredible, incredible. This is like the RE engine is like on
He blocked
overdrive
a
here.
chainsaw with a knife.
You know what else was blown away? That cow. Leon murdered that cow. The cow's just chilling. He's like, I'm living life in the barn. I'm not doing anything wrong. Leon's like, fuck you, cow. Shoots the lantern, just bursts him in the flames.
It's like taking everything.
I was just sitting there, he's like, Moop.
Well, like
they still
Ashley, there's a whole different subplot going on with her in the game. Like,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
holy shit, man, that was bro.
They
yes.
still have like the corny lines in there too.
Yeah,
where, he's
well, I
like,
mean-
where he blew up the thing. He's like, send me the bill for the damages. Like, he's
Oh yeah,
like,
you gotta keep those. And did you see my girl, honey? Oh my god, did you see my girl? Whew,
well,
man.
they also confirmed that the bingo line's in there too. They're
Yep.
keeping that.
Yeah, but did you see the dog is dead?
Yeah,
when you
that's an
fire across the
interesting
dog,
one.
he's dead.
We'll see. The dog
We'll
might
see.
have a,
The dog.
we'll see.
We'll
The
see.
dog might have a cub, or might have. Is that a
It
cub?
better be,
That's
because
not
if
a
I don't hear Leon say, hey, it's that dog, the game automatically loses 1/10 of a percentage point.
Okay, it's still a 9.9 out of 10.
Hey, if they want that 10, that dog better show up.
That game's a 10. It looks like a 10. It looks.
But now we have to talk about the real controversy here with this game.
Shut the fuck up! I know exactly where you're going.
Dude, Lewis. That's not my Lewis.
No, my man looks like my man looks like
What happened to him?
he's been a registered offender. Like he looks like a registered offender, multiple time registered offender. I'm just saying.
Come on, he was cool in the original. Now he looks like some dweeb. That's not my Lewis. That guy can die. I don't give a fuck about him. I felt bad when Lewis died in the original. I want this motherfucker to die
Maybe he
already.
survives. Maybe he survives in this.
Oh,
one.
that's terrible. Now it's down to a 9. The dog's not there, and Lewis is this weird freaking guy.
This is
Come
gonna
on,
be
Capcom.
next year.
Come on.
Next year is starting to shape up to be pretty. I mean, we said this about this year, and then everything got kind of messed up again, and stuff got delayed and moved around and shuffled. And 2023 is starting to look pretty good already. What we got: Zelda in there, Resident Evil 4,
Fire Emblem
Spider-Man.
Engage, you piece of shit. Fire Emblem Engage has been the first thing you said.
Dead
Spy-
Space.
Dead
Space.
Space. Spider-Man's
Octo-
gonna be in there.
Octopath Traveler 2 is Persona 3 and 4, and also One Piece Odyssey, which looks fantastic for One Piece.
Can't be worse than the
RPG.
last one. We're on our
Huge
way.
Straw Hat fan.
Yeah.
Huge Straw Hat fan. That anime is the fans. The amount of fans for that anime is ridiculous. By the way,
I
considering
said
how
I-
many episodes there are.
I said, hey, maybe I'll check it out. Someone was like, there's 1,200 episodes. I was like, yeah, maybe someday. That was it. It's
I know a
funny.
YouTube channel that watches them though. He can catch you up to speed.
Yes.
I'll
Roger.
DM you his details.
What? Okay.
Oh, you're just gonna say Roger.
I thought you were going to say Roger as well.
Oh no, I was thinking of someone else.
Oh, okay. Shout out to Roger's base.
You know what? RE4 remake looks good. People were real worried about this for a bit, though, right? The remake, what are they going to do? Are they going to mess it up? Could they ruin the legacy of Resident Evil 4?
A lot of that concern, though, is when we were coming off Resident Evil 3, where they removed content.
Nate was talking some smack on this. I remember this clearly.
That's Resident Evil 3.
I was
Nobody
not.
cares about Resident Evil 3. Like
They cared
Resident Evil
enough
2.
to
was-
remake it.
Yeah, it was a quick. They wanted quick money. They sold how many copies? Didn't they sell like 4 million or 5 million copies of that? I forgot how much
Yeah.
they said that they sold.
The
but they
problem
sold-
with the problem with 3 is that it's a good game. It just
Yeah.
wasn't worth $60.
yeah. I'm just saying they just wanted to get it out there. They have the engine. They
Yeah.
could have. They just wanted to get it out.
It
They
should have
weren't
been
gonna take
DLC to 2.
Yeah, it exceeded 5 million copies in sales.
Yeah, bam. That's tons of money, you know, so that they just wanted to get that out there. But I knew that they're going to take their time with because like Resident Evil 2 was awesome. Everyone loves Resident Evil 2. So with 4, you can't mess 4 up. That's suicide for the, you know, for the franchise.
The only thing with 4 that people really had questions were you going to hit all the main story points that the original game had, and based on this latest round of footage, we're seeing all those key areas. We still have the swamp
and more.
fight. We're seeing that they are expanding upon it. So they're definitely looking to the original, paying respect to it, expanding upon it, and making this a more fuller, coherent game, while retaining that campy, weird one-liners that Leon's going to deliver.
I mean, let's get real for a second here. Will this game be the best-selling Resident Evil game?
Hopefully.
Will it get there?
What's the current one? Is it Resident Evil 6 still?
7. Resident Evil 7.
Oh,
Okay,
7.
so 7
11 million units.
Okay.
I did not know Resident Evil. I thought Resident Evil 5 was still their best seller.
Yeah, I'm looking at their platinum list now, and that they have it listed at 11 million.
Well, it's multi-plat. It's available on PlayStation 4. I don't see why it wouldn't be.
And it's showing up early enough in the generation to where it'll probably continue selling throughout it pretty easily. So, like Resident Evil 2, for example, the remake there, 9.8 million.
God damn.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yep.
I knew that's what was sold, but I mean, it's also being sold, like, it's been discounted for quite a while. It's like down to like,
Sure.
you know,
Sure.
so people are picking it up like crazy.
But yeah, just going by the number of copies.
Yes,
Dude, Resident Evil 4 Remake has the most hype behind it that I've ever seen after that showing. People are going to go into this ready to buy, I feel like.
Oh, imagine Krauser. What they're going to do. Oh,
yeah, that Krauser fight could be crazy.
Yeah.
So I think
the lake. The lake. What are they going to do with the lake? What are they gonna...
Yeah, we saw a bit of the lake. We saw the creature. It looked awesome.
Wait.
Dude, the Switch Pro's on the way too. It's gonna be crazy. Gonna have that right. I'm here. Resident Evil 4 Remake looks good. I think it will be the best-selling Resident Evil game, and I think it'll do that in a hurry too. I mean, Resident Evil 2 came out
Resident Evil 2 is
2019,
and it's at 10 million about.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
And
I think it's gonna do it quick, like a
free
year
upgrade.
or two.
2 free up if you have the PS4, free upgrade to the PS5 version as well. So that's cool. You get those PS4 users who don't have a PS5 yet, and it's probably still gonna look and play amazing on PS4 because of the RE engine, you know. So yeah, like I'm thoroughly excited for that game, and it comes out at a good time too, a couple months before for Tears of the Kingdom. So
it's coming out nice and early in the year.
Yeah,
it's gonna be after Dead Space. Right now, it doesn't really have any big competition with it. So it has March pretty much to itself. And if it stays that way, it's going to be a huge seller for the entirety of 2023. Now they just need to announce some Separate Ways DLC and be looking good.
Capcom's on a roll. To think they were so close to being bought by Microsoft. Oh, well.
they're doing good. Capcom is always, between Monster Hunter, Resident Evil. Are we going to talk about Resident Evil 8, like the third person mode? And now it's actually playable now? Can we talk?
Actually, I played that demo. And
Why do you hate first person so much? First person's
Yeah.
fine.
First person was fun.
Terrible. I hate
Immersion.
first person RE. Terrible. I hate it.
Immersion.
No, Resident Evil third. That's why we're all hyped for Resident Evil 4, right? Way more hyped than freaking first person.
I put it in first person. It's fine.
We all know Resident Evil 4 is gonna dookie on Resident Evil 8 and 7.
Oh, yeah.
We all
Yeah,
know
it
this.
will. It will.
It's not even gonna
It
be
will.
close. Resident Evil 2
That's because
dookies
it's
on
Resident
those two
Evil
games.
4. Resident Evil 4 is.
I mean, to be fair, the best-selling Resident Evil game is in first person.
Resident Evil 2. Resident Evil 2 dookies on both of those. Resident Evil 2, which one's better? Resident Evil 7 or 8 or Resident Evil 2 Remake? Which one's better?
Apparently, I'll have about 1.2 million other
Answer
people
the
backing me.
question. Which one do you like more? Resident Evil 7, 8, or Resident Evil 2?
I like
Remake?
2.
Resident Evil 5.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. That's all I wanted to know.
Who said Resident Evil 5?
What's more ridiculous, the boulder punch or the chainsaw blocked by a butter knife?
Well, supposedly some
punch.
people are saying that he's blocking it with his gun.
It looks like he was
I
blocking with his gun.
was it? Was it? It was the gun?
I thought
it was the knife.
he at last second when he just holds up his hand with the gun and holds the other side of it.
Well, now I hate it. Thank you. Everyone just ruined that for me. I like that it was a knife there for a while.
I mean, it could be. That's what I thought I saw. I don't know what the actual answer is.
From a 9.9 to a 9.8. Just keeps going down.
Game is ruined.
Was his gun? Was
Unrealistic.
his
Sounds
knife?
like an
His
easy
knife,
mode.
his gun. See, nobody knows. He blocks it with his gun.
Next, it's just going to be his hand. He's going to be like. That
He's gonna block it
fucking
with his dick.
Resident
Come
Evil
on, give it to me.
Jesus.
Just right in the teeth.
Sean, your after show doesn't go live for another 20 minutes.
That's true.
The
Sorry.
thing Sean will do for a McRib.
Yeah, there will be. Sean's gonna hold up you're gonna do the after show, Sean. Then
Yeah, I'll do it for a little
I just
bit.
signed you up for it. Okay, good. But he's gonna do the after show. I got a video, got to edit anyway, so that'll work out. Let's see. You said we're going to Discord questions, Evan.
Yeah, we're
It's
good.
his knife.
It's his knife.
It's his knife. It's
Okay,
not his
good.
gun because he's holding it. He's holding the handle like this, and it's clear. It looks like it's definitely a blade.
That's a good knife.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh,
Or a really bad chainsaw.
Got that adamantium.
Xbox lost PlayStation 1 says, with everything going on right now with voice actor drama, what do you guys think about the sticky situation brewing between Jack and Mike? Sounds tough. Sounds tough.
I mean,
Read that properly. Read that properly, John.
Jack and Mike.
No,
I know
read
Jack
their
and Mike. I'm just reading them by first name basis. I know.
No,
them.
read their last names.
What? Soph and Hawk?
There you go.
What's wrong with that?
Oh, just read their names.
this
That
man
sounds like normal
this
government
man
names. I don't know why I got to
paid
call
you
my
to
last
read
name
it.
out like that.
to
He
make.
paid you to read this.
He paid for disappointment. That's what he did.
I don't know why you don't give me Xbox trash, PlayStation 1. You give me the money. I'll say I don't give a fuck. It's a donation.
Pyro says, thoughts on Steam Deck, CPU and GPU temps. I heard we shouldn't push the system past 95 degrees. Thinking overheat can damage the lifespan. I mean, yeah, if you
Bro,
push
this
it too hard,
motherfucker's like an oven. I don't even turn the heat on in my house. I just position the Steam Deck
the
towards
fan
it.
can get
Like,
kind of loud sometimes, depending on the game you're playing. You can feel the heat blasting out of the top of it. I know people are like overclocking, do all kinds of stuff to it, but I would be a little careful with that. Jack says, yo, John, you a snork for real if you are. Not cool. Sounds like an after show topic. Thank you. This Scar says, I'm just here to see RGT hand over the crown to Nate for Silent Hill gloating.
That's fine. I can do that.
Cue pomp and circumstance.
Steven says, which remake would you prefer? Zelda Ocarina of Time, Dino Crisis, or Rayman?
Rayman.
Rayman can fuck off out of this equation.
Dino Crisis.
Yeah, I'd say
Crisis and
Dino
Rayman.
Crisis.
Rayman.
Could you picture a Dino Crisis on the RE engine?
That'd be
Well,
pretty
how are you-
ridiculous.
How are you remaking Rayman? Rayman's a gorgeous looking 2D pixel art game that still holds up today. If you have a way to
Remake
output
again.
Does
the
it-
original version onto, like, fucking play it with Duck Station on your PlayStation 1 and just
I don't like
upscale it. It
ducks.
looks beautiful.
Does it have ray tracing?
Wow.
Yeah, does it have ray tracing? It's called Rayman, so it should have ray tracing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Sean.
Yeah.
Next question.
Justin says, playing Dead Space again in prep for the remake, trying to beat it on impossible without getting hit. I'm on chapter 7. Who on the cast likes
Wow.
Dead Space? I think everyone most of us like Dead Space is very good. I haven't done that on like the
No.
impossible or anything.
I
But
just
you ever
replayed it on the Series X. What a game.
Did you ever play the Wii one?
no,
I didn't play
the
that.
light
Oh,
gun
yeah.
game?
Yeah, it was actually pretty fun.
It's
Yeah,
good.
it
was
wasn't
not bad.
bad. It's just not the game anyone wanted when they announced Dead Space for the
No,
Wii.
not at all. But I ended up picking it up anyways. I still have it, I believe.
I had the Resident Evil light gun ones. Those were great.
Oh, the Umbrella
Yeah.
Chronicles too. Those
Yeah,
are
those
so
are
Those
good.
are
Remember that
so
one.
good.
Yeah.
Dark Side Chronicles is really fun.
Yes,
Yeah.
both of those
That's-
are awesome.
Darkside Chronicles is really the closest we're gonna may even get to a remake of Code Veronica.
Undefined, no message. Thanks, Undefined. Shadow Next says, any of you played As Dusk Falls? Fantastic story. Nate liked it.
Yeah, it's a good game.
Let's see. This is from Victor saying, according to Dusk Golem, they may Shadow drop the unannounced PT demo like Silent Hill, a short story game, just like Kojima Production Shadow dropped PT on the PlayStation Store. So there's 5 Silent Hill games total. Yeah, that short message demo that popped up, that nothing happened with that in the stream. So maybe they just drop it. Demolition Man says Castlevania 2 should be done by Mercury Steam.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah,
One
they did it once
video-
before, and everyone was
Oh,
mad about it.
this seems time sensitive. One video game dude says, "Love you guys, but question for RGT85. My ex is texting me again. Should I respond?"
What's she texting you about? Like, if she's texting you to hang out or something, like, nah, bro.
Oh,
I don't know why y'all broke up though. That kind of plays a role. Were you the dick? Was she the dick? I mean,
sounds
Was
like
the
the-
other
the-
guy the dick?
That
Was it
sounds like the
regarding Dick?
RGT85 after show.
it's not the channel name. It's RGT Live and Extras.
Come on, sit down on the couch. Let's talk about this.
Hey, we had some serious discussions on that show about faking orgasms and how a man can do that.
One video game, dude.
Sean
I would
gave
check
tips.
out Sean, his after show coming up, because I feel like you'd be able to have a good conversation with you. Ruffle says, Nate, any chance of Konami bringing Sparkster back? Oh, they're gonna tear this. They're gonna tear this ballpark down. Jeez. Go ahead, Nate.
If there's value in it, sure.
Just not that fucking shit that they did the last time.
Burn says, now this is obviously a speculative question with the next Switch. How likely do you guys think performance patches would be first and third party odds?
Like, would they update their original games to run better on the Switch?
Yes, let's just
On
say
the Switch
Pro
successor?
or a next gen one that's backwards compatible, but there would be patches for older games if they want.
Probably more successful games would get them.
Yeah, but otherwise relatively low.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is from Francis, says, I shart on Gotham Knights. I shart on 30 FPS. I shart on the flawed logic of the UKCMA. If Alan Wake Switch had a physical edition, I'd shart on it.
You just shard on the digital edition.
It's a lot of shot.
Geeky Gaming
Amber Heard,
family.
Amber Heard sharded on mine.
Says, John, we need a fitness channel called Swole Wave. I don't know if I have enough time to do all that.
Well, I mean, you're wasting time playing fucking Gotham Knights.
Hey, I played it so that I could then basically, as this person says, they shard on Gotham Knights for about 10 minutes. So there you go. I mean, I basically hate beat Saints Row so I could talk about it here. And that's how you guys knew that there was a DMX track with jet skis upside down in the games. There you go.
Yeah, that was like the highlight of the game.
It was. Brian says, I just beat Xenoblade 3 today. Phenomenal game. Should I play Persona 5 next or SMT 5? Spawncast, keep up the great work. Many hearts. I think Persona 5 will take you longer than SMT 5.
SMT 5 is can be just as long, depending on how much content you're doing. It took me 140 or 50 hours to get through that. So if you do everything, it's a 100+ hour game. Or if you're going for like the secret ending, but just normally, Persona 5 is longer. Like the royal content that they add in there is longer. Unless you're playing like on the easiest difficulty. If you're playing on the easiest difficulty, then you can blow by both of those games in 50 hours or something
Now
like
we're
that.
talking.
Adam says, Mario Rabbids Sparks of Hope is a great game. Played for 3 hours last night. Love the combat. Who in this group is getting Pokemon Scarlet Violet in a month? I think most of us. I am. OJ.
Yep.
Jordan might. We'll see. I don't know.
Maybe,
Yeah,
Jordan.
yeah.
You don't like Pokemon though that much, Steve.
No, what would tell you I like Pokemon? You know.
I was thinking about getting Mystic Ryan, to come by to talk about Pokemon when that drops too. See if we can get him on here for it.
Yeah, makes sense.
And then Jordan can tell us about it too. If he gets it, of course. No pressure. No pressure. Then Fee says, so Sparks of Hope is a Mario-vania. Sorry, guys. Yeah, technically it would be. Brent says, it's got my first 360 and is hoping you'll have some suggestions of games that are slapping.
Oh, there's the Gears of War series.
No need to suggest Gears or Halo immediately.
Lost
Fable
Odyssey.
series.
Lost Odyssey. Fantastic game.
Spec Ops The Line, Blue Dragon. The Dragon Ball Z Budokai Collection is not backwards compatible.
Two Human 2.
What?
Not too human.
The Budokai Collection is annoying because they did some censorship and stuff with it, but it's still good. And that's not backwards compatible, I assume, for licensing issues with the Xbox Series. I like those though. Those are good ones. And Blue Dragon,
Fable 1, 2,
Sean
and
just
3.
went wide for a second.
Yeah, Sean was all screwed up looking.
Really?
Yeah, he was stretched.
Wow.
You were like sideways too. You were kind of like this.
I didn't do anything.
It was like one of those like the baby memes, but like white guy.
Strangle says, if RE4 Remake doesn't have the suplex automatic 0-10, I feel like it's going to have the suplex.
It better have a
gotta have a
suplex.
suplex.
It better be like Brock Lesnar suplex.
Yeah, it's got to be like Zangief for doesn't he power drive people? Yeah, I want to see something crazy.
Yeah.
Next gen suplex.
Sly says, RGT, wear that mustache, bro.
It's coming back. It's taking us time.
Little Anonymous says, RGT85, when is Worms Armageddon remake out?
Yeah, Sean.
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
I don't know.
What the hell, Sean?
Xbox Lost PlayStation 1 says, I go offline barely a week and the internet is a mess because Chris Pratt is voicing Bayonetta or something. Let's
Yeah, that's about right.
that's our last topic is the a voice acting situation that took place with Bayonetta. We covered it when it was first breaking, but we didn't have all the information. And we kind of, that's basically what we were saying at the time. Now we have a lot more information, and it kind of seems like everything's over, and now we're just ready for the game to come out next week.
There was a telltale sign.
Oh, gosh. You know, we're almost an after show. Go ahead, Sean.
Here's how we should have been very suspect about this from the start. Because this woman has lied to us before. If you look at her profile picture on Twitter, and then you look at the person that made that video, maybe maybe the profile picture was a younger sister, maybe the lady's daughter or something. That lady's been lying from the get-go. Not even the same person.
So what happened here was there was more information came out after Jason Schreier at Bloomberg, and then a bunch of other independent outlets corroborated it, that instead of just technically the $4,000 mark was correct, but it wasn't for the right thing. That was for a cameo appearance that was at the end of the negotiation. And originally she asked for 6 figures and residuals. The offer really on the table was $3,000 to $4,000 per session for 4 to 5 sessions. So it sounded like they were going to be anywhere from $15,000 to $20,000 to voice Bayonetta, and it turns out that's 16 to 20 hours worth of recording, which it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to get people on your side with sympathy if it's $1,000 an hour average. I know it's technically different for independent contractors, all these things, but it's hard to get people on your side as opposed to, oh, it's just going to be $4,000 for the whole thing. So after that information got out there, Helena Taylor is ready to put it behind her now.
The information that she put out there, literally 2 days later, she's like, you know what? I'm done talking about this. It's like, we're talking about this because you brought it up. Platinum, obviously, or somebody at Platinum accidentally leaked some papers to places like Bloomberg and stuff, showing that your claims were bullshit. And now you're mad that you got caught. If I am her and I'm right in what I'm saying, I feel that, you know, I was only offered $4,000 total to do everything, I wouldn't back down. I would keep going. I would show my receipts. I would show all this. You've already broke NDA. You have nothing to lose at this point. You don't have a career in video game voice acting because you've only done one character. You're not a Jennifer Hale who you decided to take shots at, you know, and fuck, man. It was such a stupid situation. And so many people kiss that fucking woman's ass and then go, duh, duh, duh. And then the second it came out that it was bullshit, they cowered in fear. And you can say whatever you want about Max, Dreamcast guy, but at least Max had the fucking balls to be like, all right, you know what? She lied. My bad. All these other fucking people that were fucking simping for her, all these fucking developers and Twitter check marks and all these people, nobody fucking took accountability for that to say, you know what, I fucked up. You know, shit, my bad. It's so fucking stupid. And that shit drives me nuts, dude. It drives me nuts. It drives me nuts. I agree.
Dude, I made multiple videos uncovering this, and
oh yeah, I paid for my family's Christmas gift.
You got called bootlicker. You got called fanboy. You got called anything if you said, oh, you're siding with the corporation, as if Platinum Games doesn't have people that work there that are affected by it. As if Platinum Games is nothing. Oh, they work for a corporation, so their opinions and their feelings don't matter. They can get harassed. Who cares? It's this woman that's, you know, her up against the world, you know, against this evil corporation. My problem is that there's too many damn check marks. No offense to the check marks here.
I'm a check mark. I hate our own kind.
Look, there's too many damn check marks that have this bullshit out there, man. Like sitting there and saying, oh, well, it was low-hanging fruit, because they're not boycotting Activision. They're not boycotting all these other places. They're not doing. They'll say that they'll boycott, then they don't end up doing it. But everyone's I can pick Bayonetta because they don't care about Bayonetta. None of these people actually cared about the Bayonetta franchise. But let me try to make a stand for my weirdo Twitter audience. Twitter, where misinformation is literally amplified all the time. Like it's the number one source of misinformation is Twitter. So that was the issue that I had. Is like
that was the issue with the thing, is that you heard one side of the story and then people just ran with, well, this must be the truth. Even though in her own videos, there were inconsistencies with the story, like claiming that Bayonetta was a franchise that has generated revenue of $450 million, which is mathematically impossible.
Well, and I see Oh no, keep going. Sorry.
And that was the thing, is as you listen to the story, it began to fall apart. And even when other voice actors were coming out and saying, well, $4,000 is within the range for us, but we're smaller actors and such, it started to fall apart more and more. But everyone made reactionary statements. They immediately jumped to the boycott because she asked for the boycott, where it should have just sat down and said, wait a minute, I'm listening to what she is saying. It doesn't add up. Let's see if more comes out of this story, because when you violate an NDA, the company has the right to respond. Platinum eventually did put out a statement. Wasn't a great statement. It was really a statement that they didn't have to put out. It didn't help them in any way, didn't hurt them. But Bloomberg comes with the receipts. What's her response to that? I'm done talking about it. Now, as Sean said, if she has the receipts where her claims are accurate, show them. You have nothing to lose at this point. The fact that she defaulted to, I'm done with this topic, I'm putting the bloody game behind me now, shows you went out there, you did a parasocial experiment to get sympathy into your claim. It backfired because you were lying about it. You put forth the story you wanted to tell. You didn't lie per se. Your 4,000 figure was accurate. You just left out all of the backstory of how the 4,000 figure was just for the cameo appearance. You omitted the fact that they offered you $20,000. You said no, you wanted 100 grand plus royalties. They said, we're not going to hit that number. Negotiations fell apart. They offered you a cameo appearance as a nice farewell gesture for all the work you have done for the franchise. You rejected, and you went to social media to slander the company, the only company who's really given you a voice acting job in the last 20 years
Ever.
And it sounded like they were bending over to do something with it. Like they even $4,000 for a cameo is like, that's weird. Why would they do that? I guess they really
it would
want her in the
appear
game.
from the information that we have, it would appear that Kamiya respected her. He wanted her to be Bayonetta.
Yeah.
He went out of his way to make monetary offers to have her in the game. Even when negotiations broke down, still wanted her to do a cameo appearance to respect the work she had done. She refused. What more can a company do? I made you an offer that was more than fair for her status in the voice acting industry. She rejects. The company has to move on. They didn't do anything illegal or unethical here. She says her worth is $100,000 after only voicing Bayonetta and Bayonetta 1 and 2. They said your worth is $20,000.
Nate, though, man, like what's frustrating, like none of the other developers said like, hey, let's like you said, like it was like, JP Callum's talked about this. He's a former Platinum Games, and he's like, yo, where was the support for Platinum Games? Like the developers that had nothing to do with this. Like nobody came to their defense at all, not a single one. But we saw Corey Balrog retweet, quote tweeting. He quote tweeted her first and then said, and then he undid that.
Did he really? Oh no.
Yeah, he undid it and then just did a retweet. And he still has that retweet,
man.
and he didn't update his audience. He's just retweeting God of War stuff now. But where's the update, my boy? You know what
somebody
I'm saying?
called him out on that.
And as developers, I guarantee Corey knows people who work at Platinum where he could have reached out and saying, hey, does this really happen over there? And they could have said, no, like, Corey, what she's saying isn't technically untrue. She's just omitting all of these details. And, when you're in that position like a Corey and this type of situation erupts, maybe don't be reactive. Don't jump to Twitter for any purpose. Just sit back. And the worst part is her point of the voice actors being underpaid in the industry. She likely could have made that point, not fabricating the numbers. She could have came out and said, I was offered $15,000 to $20,000 for the role of Bayonetta 3. I refused. I wanted more pay. And here's the reasons why. I voiced Bayonetta and Bayonetta 1 back on the 360 PS3 release. I did not get residuals when the game was re-released on PS4, Xbox One, Switch twice. I didn't get residuals when Bayonetta was voiced in Smash Brothers, where they did archive voice samples from my prior work. And when I view that game sells 30 million copies, and I didn't get a penny. I'm kind of upset of how the industry operates. And people may have seen that and said, I kind of feel for you in that situation. But to come out and fabricate the story for sympathy and then get angry when the receipts are shown, that you hurt your cause, and you've actually hurt the discussion around should voice actors be paid more? Should there be residuals involved? How should they go about this industry wide? And everyone who just knee-jerk reacted when the story first hit a week ago. Wait. Just wait for a little more information, especially when the story itself was inconsistent.
Well, and the thing of it is that there's people saying, "Oh, I see in the chat, 15, 20K, that's too low." If that's your one job and the one thing you do for the year, working a couple days doing voice acting, yeah, maybe that's too low. Have you ever heard Jennifer Hale complain about stuff like that in the industry? No, because she works her fucking ass off.
How is that too low? Wait a minute, hold up. Stop putting these. Listen.
The thing of it is, some games you could probably make a case. Bayonetta doesn't make any fucking money. Yeah, I don't know if you understand how business works and shit, but Bayonetta makes no fucking money. So being paid 15 to 20 grand to work on a game that generates no money at the end of the day, it's really probably just a write-off thing. It's probably just a way for Nintendo to pad their catalog and be like, oh, look, we have this game.
If I'm voicing the main character in GTA 6.
For 4 to 5 days of work.
For 4 to 5 days of work. Yeah. There's not a goddamn person in this chat on this panel that's making 15 to 20 grand for 4 days of work.
Listen, guys, her job, and
Jordan.
I get it, it's a video games, and you guys like to romanticize it, and everything. But my mom's a nurse, and she saves lives, and she don't make that, and she's been working there for 20 years, so she don't make 20K in 16 hours and she works for a multi-million-dollar hospital, so they got plenty of money, by the way. Okay, and she ain't making that. She got to work all year. You know what I'm saying? To make what she was asking for. And it's a multi-million-dollar hospital. So I don't want to hear, oh, that's too low because she works video games. So her job is better than other people's jobs that are normal jobs. Like, fuck out of here with all that. Like, no, listen, you're paid what you're worth. Okay.
Yeah.
If she wants to demand what she wants to demand, that's fine. Right. But that doesn't mean she gets to take down everybody in the process. Like, that's ridiculous.
And that's the thing, is that she came into this role. Again, she only has this voice actor role. She is not a renowned voice actor across the industry, voicing hundreds of characters a year. It's just Bayonetta. The fact that you're not worth $100,000, it's a harsh, true statement. That you cannot come in and command that type of money. If you may have come in and said, I'm happy with the $15,000, $20,000 offer, I would also like residuals of 0.1%. Maybe Platinum and Nintendo would have listened and said, okay, this is what we're anticipating in terms of sale. If we hit this milestone, we'll give you a $15,000 bonus. But based on the videos she put out, it sounds as though she wanted to make a year's worth of work of luxury salary of 100K plus, working 1 day a year. We all would love to do that. Unfortunately, that's not how a capitalist society works. In creative
situations like this, there is a pretty big issue about not knowing the limits of contract writing, because it's not just about the residuals. You can also assign getting a certain amount of money up front and then residuals after they recoup that. There's ways to incentivize the people you're working for to want to do what that is. And also in the case of Smash Brothers, making sure that the voiceover lines can't leave the game it's in without confronting you with money. So a lot of it is about not knowing, because there's whole books on it that people just don't look at and then go into creative fields and lose out on so much.
Right. And that's the thing with like Smash Brothers. I could see her being upset in that case of, you're using the voice samples I did for another game to be used in this game that now sells 30 million copies and I didn't get anything. Where I can see where that is a discussion where if she had approached that with a true, genuine conversation, people may have looked at it and said, you know what? That is wrong by Nintendo. You did deserve something because they are using your voice samples, even if it is archived, where maybe in the deal it should have been stated, when this happens, we're going to give you $15,000 for using these samples. Because in movies, be like Disney, I believe there is a case of they threw in like Hakuna Matata in Toy Story. And Nathan Lane wasn't aware that was going to happen when they did it. And they went to Disney saying, we never approved of this. And now they get residual checks every time Toy Story is played.
Oh.
Because technically there's something in the contracts where Disney never stipulated that they have free reign to use that voice work. Whereas
like-
clearly Nintendo must have that in their games of, this is ours. We can use it whenever the hell we want without your approval.
For anything in the entertainment industry, just like video games, movies, all that, it's a lot of people like to think, oh, this is how it should be. This is what you should get, but it's not show friends, it's show business. And you have to always try and find like the best. You have to fight for your contract and what you're worth, right? You fight for it. It's the best deal you can negotiate for yourself. And that's what it is at the end of the day. If you can't come to an agreement, then you don't work on the project.
No, I mean,
But
we
it's
all
always fighting for those agreements, whether it's back-end pay, whether it's percentages, stakes, whatever it's going to be. You have to cater that contract and come to an agreement. That is part of the business structure for an individual in the entertainment industry.
literally every person on this panel negotiates contracts, even though we don't know anything about business. We all negotiate contracts when a sponsor comes to us, because there's different types of sponsors. Some are based on CPM, some are based on how many views you get, some are an up flat fee. Sometimes you might not like that fee, so you come back with another fee, and then you meet in the middle, or sometimes you don't work with them. Like, it's just like anything in life. And I just feel like a lot of people on Twitter don't fucking live in the real world. You might not like it, but that's the way it is. And you're probably not going to do anything to change it. So get with it. Make the most of it that you can, instead of crying about things that you can't control.
And I think a lot of people understand that as a voice actor, you are ultimately a contractor. You are a contract employee. Now, you're either part of the union or you're not. If you're not part of the union, your hourly rate is significantly lower than those part of the union. So there's a lot of dynamics at play. She went about it horribly.
She's part of the union though, and they offered her
she is part of the union, and she was offered well above the minimum.
Yeah, well
standard.
above the union rates as well. I don't know. I get it, but like I get why people are saying some stuff, but I don't know if Bayonetta deserves more than that. Then how much does people in Super Smash Bros. Deserve? $3 million a pop? I mean, or like games that sell
that's the
way
thing. I mean,
better.
But it's never about what you deserve. It's about what you negotiate.
It's exactly. It's about what. And Jordan, we talked about this earlier in terms of like on the what you get paid. Me and Sean both did the same thing with Shin Megami Tensei, right? Sean, you did a sponsorship with Shin Megami Tensei. I did as well. I did more work than Sean. Sean got paid more. Sean has a bigger channel. He negotiated what he's worth. I did, hey, I'll take what I'm going to get. I'm not going to sit there and try to take the, like, oh, what, he got more? What? Oh, whoa. And try to, like, okay, listen, he got what he got because he negotiated that. I got what I got because I negotiated that based on my stature and based on what I can do. So, I mean, that's just,
and I
you
shoot
got to know
high
what you're
as
worth,
fuck, too. I always say I shoot high as fuck, and I'm like, there is wiggle room. I give them a high number, say there's wiggle room, and then you're fine. And I'm not going in there saying I want $100,000 or I'm not doing it.
But you have that leeway because of your status, right? Because you have hundreds of thousands of subscribers. If once again she had maybe worked in the past 8 years on a game, maybe she could have got that.
And that's the big thing, is that if she were an in-demand voice actress in the industry, she could have come in, looked at the $15,000 to $20,000 range, and said, I think I'm worth $35,000 to $40,000. And it would sound as though, based on the budget that Platinum would have been allocated by Nintendo for the localization, if that was within the budget, or if it's something that they could have gone to Nintendo and said, hey, she really wants to come back, she wants to go a little beyond the budget that we have, Nintendo would look and say, she's in demand, she's a great talent, we're going to approve those additional funds. The fact is, she's not in demand. She isn't that big of a name, and what they did is they showed her, you're expendable. We can replace you at a drop of the hat, and we did. We did a courtesy of offering you a cameo appearance. You rejected it. You went to Twitter. You lied about the situation. It boils down to that simple.
Okay. Real quick, it does look like Bayonetta 3 sales jumped pretty well from just some of the limited stats that we have now. So we'll see how this does in the grand scheme of things with the entire series. I think most are expecting it to be the best selling one. I am curious though, very quickly before we wrap up here, what's everyone's thoughts on the Metacritic prediction for this, since next time we get together for the podcast, the game will be out by next weekend. So
I'll go last.
Okay.
90,
I'm gonna go
90.
I'm shooting for 91. I got 91 on it.
Jordan?
Jordan,
85.
Nate?
I don't know.
Nate?
95, you said?
85.
85?
85, okay.
Nate?
Okay.
87.
Okay.
Oh, wow. You went higher than I thought.
What do you got, Evan?
I don't care. It's somewhere somewhere in the 80s, somewhere in the 80s, but not with a lot of reviews. So it's like it'll seem great, but at the same time, not a lot of reviewers. So it's like,
I'm going with 83.
Wow.
I was thinking around 83 myself because of the VGC 2 out of 5 on Plague Tale.
Oh no.
Citing performance issues, and I was trying to think, I'm like, if this game has some frame drops that are,
I don't know. You guys know the full game's out there, right?
yes.
And people, okay.
And I'm wondering how people, if they're going to overlook some of the drops, or if they're going to forgive it, they're going to forgive it, or they're going to be harsher on it. And that's why I'm coming in at about like an 87. I think a lot are going to forgive performance and not be as harsh on the game as they would be on
Going
others.
91, and I think the showdown at the end of the year is going to be Horizon, Bayonetta, Elden Ring, and God of War.
No strikers?
What? Strikers?
Oh.
What about your the Star Ocean game you keep talking about?
Oh, yeah.
What about
we have to do a Metacritic prediction for that one? Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Oh no. Let's
I don't know,
get
but
into this.
Metacritic's obviously fucked up because they gave Ghostbuster Spirits Unleashed.
Oh gosh. Okay, we're done here. Let me go through the final.
Let Sean have his rant on Ghostbusters.
It's already after. It's already in overtime. He has his after show.
Yes, 10 minutes.
The Uncharted Wolf says thoughts on Final Fantasy 16 trailer. I think it looks incredible. I am ready for next summer. Absolutely. Geeky Gaming Family TV says Dragon Ball Z HD Collection reversible cover art is amazing. It is really cool. That's the normal one.
ew.
That is reversible cover art.
Ew, Super Saiyan 4.
No, but the reversible one looks better, I think.
Cool
As
stuff
Goku
I don't
and-
know.
Which one's the one where Goku's like turning his neck all the way like around like an owl? That's my favorite box art. Forgot which one that is though.
I don't know which one that is.
Is that a Budokai or is that like
Yeah,
a
it's something on the
Xenoverse?
Xbox 360.
I think it's Budokai Tenkaichi 2.
Oh wow. Okay. So
almost
Chris
got
says. Chris says,
Remember the Connect Dragon Ball game?
I
Shoot Kamehameha.
try to forget about that. Chris says sending positive vibes to the entire Spawncast crew. Thank you all for your hard work and content. And I also saw, just want to make sure I get them in here. Minato Mario, I believe. Anyway, Minato Mario says OG and RGT speaks the truth. Keep up the good work, Spawncast. And funny, there's many still thinks that 15 to 20K is still too low. And I believe that is calling it now. This is Oni says calling it now. Bayonetta 4 voiced by Alexa.
But who voices Alexa?
Lotan says, keep up the good work, y'all. Morning from Tel Aviv. Wow. And I believe that's everyone there. Sean will have his after show. He's probably even setting it up right now. Sean, I'll let you close out so you can direct people. OJ, where can everyone find you?
You can find me right here on YouTube, Player Essence. Got a cool video dropping tomorrow. Just did a video on Mario plus Rabbids. Got a cool video dropping tomorrow about some different things, about Bayonetta and stuff. So if you're interested in that, check it out. Got a bunch of RPG videos, of course, dropping throughout the week. Persona 5, and a lot of cool stuff. Live stream pretty much every day or 5 or 6 days out of the week. So if you like live streams, you like edited RPG content, Nintendo content, there. And I want to talk about Final Fantasy 16. I just dropped a video on that. So yeah, a lot of cool stuff. So thank you for having me on. I appreciate it. Player Essence on YouTube.
Make sure you check everyone out in the
RPG content. That's news to me.
all the links for people's channels are of course down in the description. Let me go over here to Jordan. Jordan, where can everyone find you?
You can find me on either Jordan Fringe or Jordan Fringe Gaming. I put out a video on Jordan Fringe Gaming this week talking about the Wario Land series, and more specifically Wario Land Shake It on the Wii, and why it's one of the best platformers out there. So yeah, or side scroller platform. But yeah, check that video out if you're interested. Thanks for having me on.
Okay, let me go over. I'm going to go over to Evan.
You can find me up into the wee hours of night complaining in my own head that I completely mixed up Vampire Survivors and V Rising. Other than that, you can find me on Twitter at Kimmerix Project. If I go to stream or anything, I'll usually post it there.
Also, Evan does have he's doing work actually on the 300 Spawncast 300 shirt. I think it's gonna be really cool.
We did a secret art stream on Friday. Two people came. It was great.
Doesn't sound very secretive.
Check him out there because he's working on the 300 Spawncast shirt. It's gonna be really cool. And let me go over here to Nate, who I assume is watching the Phillies here because they're about to close out this game. Go ahead, Nate.
No, I don't give a damn about the Phillies.
Don't you?
No.
Go ahead,
No,
Nate.
I don't. You can find me on YouTube at Nate the Hate MVG, and I have a podcast up right now where we talk about the Silent Hill event, as well as what's next for Konami. We also talk a bit about Hideo Kojima, because somebody asked the question of whether or not Kojima is overrated, and we kind of discussed that at length.
Yes.
He does need a filter.
Well, Nate, good news. The Phillies took 3-1 lead now.
I don't just give a damn about the Phillies.
I mean, the Yankees going to be out. You need someone to cheer for. Come on board. Hop on board the Phillies bandwagon.
You fired Joe Girardi.
Grab your coffee, milk,
And look what
enjoy
happened. They're about to be in the World Series.
Joe Girardi built this team with Yankee ingenuity.
And Sean, where can everyone find you? Where are we heading? What's going on?
Heading to the after show. RGT Live 85 is the channel name for some reason. I put it in the chat. Come hang out. It's a debauchery show.
Go hang out. Should be fun. Thanks everyone for joining us on the Spawncast. We'll be back next Saturday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time with Bayonetta 3 being out. And yes, I know, Star Ocean will be there too. Exciting stuff.
Oh yeah.
We'll see you guys then.
Nobody cares.
Let's go make 15K in about
Can you pay me
3 hours.
$4,000?